Wow, almost to the level 3 hype train. Thank you, everyone. Obviously, this is not Hannah.
Hello everyone and welcome to another stream. How are you all doing on this Saturday? I hope your weekend is going well. Thanks everyone for the hype train. We're already at 26% to level 3. Wow, thank you everyone. Cotton Candy 903, thanks for subscribing with an 11-month streak. Says, hi everyone, 11 months. I've been so busy I haven't watched in a while. I'm glad you could make it. MW1642, thanks for subscribing for 13 months. Maple Satyr, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Says, just a long-time lurker who recently subbed with my Bezos bucks. Nothing to see here. Well, thank you. I appreciate those bald Amazon Bezos bucks.
And we appreciate all the lurkers.
Yes.
You don't have to comment and chat. We appreciate you no matter what.
eTune2350 says, Peter and Marcell, two great tastes. I hope to not find out what they taste like together. Cotton Candy 903 says, hype already. Hi, Hannah. It's been a while. How have you been? Pretty good. Pretty good. Baja's dad and brother came over with a central air unit today that I bought. And hopefully that'll get installed sometime soonish. So, Citosaurus with 50 bits says, this will help me keep sane while auditing a giant casino's 50 billion access levels. Hurrah! That sounds important. Don't fuck that up. Azala 3000 with 200 bits, thank you. Amori Miku, thanks for subscribing for 11 months, says, I'm excited to see Marcell's cape. It's not the cape video, it's different videos, I'm sorry. I still gotta edit the cape video, it's a different one that's clean. Yoinkith McGee, thanks for subscribing for 2 months. Kirthan, thanks for subscribing for 9 months, says, sub baby. Baja, sub baby name, stat.
Steve.
Steve! Last name.
Panther.
Steve Panther.
I was gonna say pants, but I was like, that doesn't make sense.
No, Steve Panther makes sense though, for sure.
Yeah.
Kirthan says, Hannah, I love the eyeshadow. That's on Baja. Thank you, Baja. She put it on me. Bellum Guardian with 500 bits says, what's up, fellas Stanas? I'm not having a great time recently, but Hannah streaming is just what I need to cheer me up. Love all of you. Well, I hope the stream makes you feel better. I'm sorry for whatever's going on. X Flowers for Brains X says, really glad you're streaming today. Sad, boring rant. 2 days ago, I was walking my dog. Someone yelled out of their car, fat bitch at me. And then yesterday, kids saw me walking by and started talking about not being fat like me. Again, glad to see you're streaming and also glad to see Baja. I'm sorry, people are such fucking assholes. Von Tuck says, Twitch is so rough on my crappy living room PC. Please clean up your code, Bezos. Yoinkith McGee with 100 bits says, also have some gay bits. Gay bits, gay bits. I do like the gay bits. Pyromancer with 100 bits says, hype bits, and then KR Goss with 100 says, and did you name our sub baby and I missed it? I did. Did that happen? If not, its name is Charles.
Fincaster.
Fincaster. Charles Fincaster.
Oh, also, those soaps smell incredible. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to use them. I'm gonna save them until we get a house.
Nice. Can you grab the thing that I got on stream that's the... Yeah. Oh, is it? I thought it was still in the living room. Yeah.
You didn't want me to steal it.
Did you guys see what I got for future Mimsy videos someone sent? Hi everyone! I'm very loud, I know.
No, I was covering your lips.
Oh. Hi, everyone! I'm Flimsy Floon! I make YouTube videos to teach kids why the government's bad!
We've been having a good day, everyone. It was very nice to see my dad and my brother.
Sarcasm69, thanks for the subscription with Prime. KR Gossis, I did a 9-month sub at the beginning today. Glad you loved the soap. Did the Mimsy house make it intact? It did. It's in my car. Jody Girl says, can we see the Mimsy house? It's in my car.
Do you want to go get it?
Sure, it's just sitting in the passenger seat.
Cool.
74 Quinn 74 says, this is fantastic. And John Lee 3000 subscribes for 6 months in advance. Wow, that's a lot of subs. Woo-wee! That's a lot of months of subs in advance. I appreciate it. Wow, you're about as good at this as Mimsy, and she's been doing this for at least a year. I know. It's almost like she's just like really, really bad at this. I know! Okay. Good. Say goodbye to everyone, Flimsy. Bye, everyone! I'll see you at the next Mimsy video! I can't wait to tell you how all the neo-Marxist commies are coming for your guns! Ah! Someone did redeem the hats off. I'll do that in a sec. So the blue and green puppets going to fuck like Mimsy puppets do? No, they're not. I gotta put a hat on. We're gonna go with the cringy America fedora, I think. No, I hate that, actually. Which hat? This hat. That's not too bad. I can do that. Hydrate. I can do that. I can drink all the water. Is my puppet into Q? Of course they are. What self-respecting puppet isn't? Vontuk says the American fedora would be perfect for going over conservative subreddit cringe. Yeah? Not a bad idea. Sorry, I'm pulling up something on my phone real quick.
You were stunning.
Thank you. Was the puppet at the Capitol on 1/6/21? In order to refrain from having my puppet arrested by the FBI, she can neither confirm nor deny her presence in Washington, D.C. on the 6th.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Your voice changed. House.
I'll spit it out.
Avenue QAnon. That's pretty good. Alright, so today's technically Cult Watch, but I have a bunch more in my purse too that came with that. I gotta go get them. What was I gonna say? Oh, today's Cult Watch, technically, but I'm going to use the term cult today pretty loosely. It's going to include, this isn't that much of a stretch, QAnon stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, Peter. I was going to do that vegan teacher, but I don't think that counts.
Okay, as someone that's vegan, I would say veganism is a cult.
Okay. Marcell, because he's kind of trying to start a cult. We have the Love Has Won cult. We have people who used to be in Love Has Won. We have the Happy Science cult. We have some anime recruitment videos from some cults. And I also wanted to see this new video from CC because it's actually kind of sad. So I thought we'd take a look at that.
Ooh, can we read some of the Donald
Oh, yeah.
books? Because that's a cult.
Well, boys and girls.
Oh, you got a puppet. The puppet's got to read the story.
Boys and girls. I can't flip through a picture book and show chat and do a puppet at the same time.
I can flip through.
We have Donald Drains the Swamp, the most amazing children's book to be published in the last 50 years. It's the best publication since the racist Dr. Seuss books.
Oh, there's...
A long, long time ago,
Here.
there was a kingdom where everyone lived in caves, so they called them cavemen. But the king of all the cavemen went to live in a white castle in the middle of a swamp, far away. So because he never saw or talked with the people he ruled, he forgot all about them, and all the people were sad.
This is so cute.
Mm-hmm. Among them lived a famous caveman named Donald. Donald loved to build caves. In fact, everyone wanted a cave built by Donald. This is definitely what Donald Trump looks like, by the way. This is his build, and he obviously builds his buildings himself. He didn't inherit money that he then used to buy real estate on speculation and made a bunch of money. KR Goss says, I had to buy those from Mike Lindell's website. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Look at...
It's a snortling. I didn't know it came with a snortling.
Oh my god. Mimsy, focus on this.
Right?
This is so cute.
I'm saving this for the rest for later, because Jake and I are supposed to do something with this. Let me see. Let's take a look. Weird Paca, or Weird Alpaca, 420 says, I'm coming out to my brother as trans this month. Well, I hope that goes well for you. I know that can be pretty nerve-wracking, but it'll be okay.
Okay, so one of the little feetsy boys fell off of this table.
Okay.
But we can glue it back together.
Sure. Look at that cute little table. Stormfox999 says, I think this might be Peter's most deranged video ever. Why doesn't his brother take the kids before it's too late? I mean, on what legal grounds? I don't know. You'd have to talk to his family, not me. Mimsy, I have a snortling. Send me your luscious purple cape cloak in the mail, otherwise the snortling gets it. I will straight up eat this snortling, okay? I want that cloak. You have 48 hours. It's got lights in it? Oh my goodness. Right? Why? She should just focus on this, and I think she is right now.
Oh my god.
It's like a little gazebo.
See, like, we're not mean for mean's sake, like,
Yeah, no.
she genuinely does so cute.
We have a little tea party with the snortling, I guess. We gotta fix the leg.
Oh,
But...
it's got a little bed for the snortling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
A little snortling bed.
That's so cute. Why, Mimsy? Why do? Like, why can't she just...
She's focusing on this right now, so hopefully she'll stay doing that. Is that all the furniture?
All that I've
Is that a journal? What is that?
I don't know. Looks like it's probably from Paradox. Looks like a gift.
Is it just like a journal for D&D?
Oh,
Oh, tiny chair.
that's so cute.
Yeah, just like a cool journal. I'll save this for campaign 2 in D&D. Thank you.
Oh my god. Smell this soap.
KR Goss with 100 bits says, yeah, well, thank you. Mmm.
They don't smell edible, but I want to eat them anyway.
Yeah.
Mmm.
It's another tiny table from the Mimsy thing. Cut up little popsicle sticks. Yeah, Mimsy, the miniatures are your calling. Do that. The right-wing grifting is not excellent. Most of your audience are not right-wingers. They're people like me, so I'd recommend you stick to the minis.
This smells like something from my childhood and I can't place it.
Hot Bees says, Peter and Marcell, what is this, a crossover episode? Thanks. Yeah.
KR Goss, do you have like an Etsy store where you sell your soaps or anything? Please plug yourself in chat, because they absolutely smell incredible and look beautiful.
I'm just trying to keep it all together.
I know, I'm gonna...
So who will we start with? Who will we start with today? Sure.
Okay, what are the options?
The options are Peter, vegan teacher, Marcell.
Is it a new video from Marcell?
It's his I've been deleted from YouTube video,
Ooh.
which I've checked. It should be fine. Love His One, the cult that mummified their leader. An anime cult recruitment video. Another cult recruitment video.
You said that there was like a science cult thing?
I think it's called like Happy Science or something.
Okay, I want that one.
You want Happy Science? Oh god, okay. John Lee 3000 says... Oh, first, Queer Who Bear with 100 bits says, Pride bits, start with Peter. We'll do Peter after. John Lee 3000 says, hey Hannah, I'm super excited to catch your stream live. I usually watch on YouTube, but have been driving since 3 a.m. from South Florida to Central Ohio, hoping to get home in the next 3 hours, and I'm so stoked to finish the trick watching the stream. Or trip, I assume you mean. I promise I'm using text-to-speech to text in the car for this comment, though. So you should still pay attention to the road. Enjoy the stream, but be safe. You only got 3 hours left. You got this. KR Goss says, I just make the soaps for fun, but I'm always happy to send soap or make specialty soap for whoever. Well, it's lovely. Thank you.
Does she have a Twitter?
Is there a Twitter or something you want to plug? Oh, God. What is this? This says, I have revealed... We're just going to watch a smattering of things from this Happy Science cult or whatever. Just because they have a lot of short videos. So let's check out some of them. This video is entitled, I have revealed more than 500 types of aliens. I'll read the subtitles. But according to the many kinds of spiritual readings I have been conducting on the space people that have come to Earth, I have found to my surprise that there are more than 500 species. And among these 500 plus types, about 20 have been dominant and have come to Earth in masses. 20 are dominant? Does that mean that there are 480 species that are bottoms? Like, what? What do you mean 20 are dominant? So I have been conducting research on them. Oh, that's the end of the video. I'm just supposed to be in awe of that. Oh,
Do you know what happened to the little bead?
I put it in the basket with the rest of it. Let's look at the more recent videos.
Wait, I set it up.
Cute. The basic knowledge of Otherworld.
Good morning to the world. This is happy.
Oh my god, it's so quiet. Is it a mono thing? Is it in the other ear?
To be strong and brave and stay positive. Purple.
No, it's just incredibly quiet. Jesus.
This is the land of love, or the land of.
You cannot hear him at all. I'm just noticing now, by the way, that sweet ceremonial dagger that they appear to have in the left-hand corner up there. When you start a religion, you gotta get a cool ceremonial dagger, otherwise you're not even really a religion, okay? Let's get that straight. Let's see the trailers for some of their anime. I saved your Saturday. I'm glad. Have you looked at the history from the perspective of God? What does that mean? Wait, is this super loud for you guys? Because it's not for me. Is that anime Jesus? Let's try out this 10-minute anime recruitment video. This is not for the happy science cult. This is a different Japanese cult. Aum Shinrikyo. I'm sure I'm butchering that. I apologize. Oh, I think we tried to watch this, but the buzzing noise was too annoying, actually. Because it goes the whole time. Let me see if there's a different copy of this somewhere. The cult did a terrible terrorist attack years ago. That tracks. Oh, that sounds way better. I don't see it.
Thanks.
人は誰でも持っているみんなの心に持っている遥かな虫の過去から持っている
I have double subtitles.
人に誰でも隠れてるみんなの心に隠れてる無名の闇を越えて超越人力だ孤独によってサマリによって主従によって 得る世界悟りによって下脱によって自由自在に君は使える天に多神宿命天元の神
The cult, except for one guy, got
天に
hung,
多神
hanged.
宿命天元の神
Yikes.
無名の闇を
Tommy,
越
girl,
え
thanks for following.
て超越人
you miss, Mike? Not much. Part 1! I'm so excited. The most holy prophet, Asaka Shoko, the soul of the supreme truth. Our leader was guided by the salvation of the early Buddhist movement in his pursuit of the supreme truth. He studied immensely and earned many spiritual powers along the way. With the help of those spiritual powers, he rules the cosmos as a foundation and began to understand every phenomena in existence. Using his powers, he hopes to bring happiness to every soul. Where does attacking a subway station or car or whatever, where does that factor into this? Is this the cult that did the nerve gas attack in the subway in Tokyo? Yes, it is. Lily Love Stuff says that's Shoko Ashihara, the co-founder of Aum Shinrikyo. He also used to sell his hair as tea to his followers to drink along with his bathwater. Wow. He was in the bottom floor of the gamer girl bathwater biz long before What's-Her-Face got into it. We will present the moment our prophet realized his powers long ago. Levitation, Chapter 1. This story is about the time when the prophet was devoting himself to intense study in his quest to become the ultimate enlightened. Mike Mack says, will you cover the cult that the blonde actress from Smallville was in? Can you be more specific? I didn't watch Smallville, so I don't know who she is or what cult you're referring to. Oh, Nexium. Yeah, at some point we probably will. That's just hard to get into because, and Blair's done like really good videos on it too. The Nexium stuff is pretty content warning-y because of the level of like abuse and assault that was going on. So at some point we'll probably cover it, but I'm gonna have to figure out a way to cover it. How do I put this? Respectfully, but also honestly. Does that make sense? I don't know. I gotta look into it more and do more research, because I can't just be a sarcastic asshole about it, you know? Because that's a good deal of the entertainment value here, right? We watch a thing and I'm a snarky piece of shit about it. Serious topic. I mean, I'm sure there'd be some things to make fun of, but it's mostly just disgusting, so. Stinky Boosh 77 says, oh no, just resubscribes for 7 months. Thank you. Like a flying bird through the sky, this phenomenon was recorded in ancient Buddhist texts. Why is it not letting me, like, drag the subtitles like it normally does? It just makes, like, a copy the first time, and then it doesn't stay there. Like, what is going on with YouTube's closed caption system today? Levitation. I'd argue this is flight, not just levitation. Levitation is like, oh gosh, what's the rules in D&D? It's like 10 or 15 feet above the ground. If he's that high and he's moving that fast, he's flying. It's Ceci, thanks for subscribing for 5 months, says, this is the shit I subbed for. 7 years ago, I discovered that levitation was not just someone's daydream. Does the cult leader voice himself in this, or did he hire someone to be him? Can I do Flat Earth Doc June 15th? What Flat Earth documentary is happening June 15th? When it happened, I was enrolled in a meditation program. Something felt different. Something was different. Despite keeping my eyes closed, I saw strange rays of light emanating from my body. What? I turned the volume down. I hope it helped a little bit. The top of my head started feeling hot. Like I'm Michael Jackson in a Pepsi commercial. It was so hot I couldn't stand it. You think it is the real him? Okay. But I couldn't stop halfway. The one I haven't done, you mean level? I could do it at some point. It's just really long. It's going to take up the whole stream. I pushed myself forward. For an instant, I felt spiritual energy rush from the bottom of my body to the top. My body started bouncing like a rubber ball. Oh, please. See, within this, there are witnesses. Can I speak to some of these witnesses? Please? Because you put them here in this anime. And if I can't trust anime, what can I trust? You like how others get uniforms and he gets to wear pajamas? Hey, that's the benefit of being the cult leader. You make the rules, you know? Whoopsie. Where'd it go? Did I exit out accidentally? It's okay if I did. I'll just go back to this. Oh, shoot. Where were we? He was bouncing. He was notoriously protective of his image, wouldn't allow other people to double or play him because he thought it corrupted his message. That's a healthy ego. Mike Mack says, 2 more months for the real president to return, you gay Satanist Illuminati. JK. But for real, half the year went by real quick. I know. It's crazy. Okay, so he's bouncing again. Is this cult based on this dude having a stroke? It sounds like he's describing a stroke. No idea. Whoa! He's like a Super Ball man. It suspends his hair up, too. That leads to interesting questions for me as to how this is supposed to have worked. This was the first time I experienced levitation. Why aren't you levitating in any of the pictures, then? Like, shouldn't you have some pictures where you're like, look at me, I'm levitating? Or a video? If you can hire animators to animate you levitating in an anime, you can buy a camcorder in the 90s and film yourself levitating. Pyromancer says, why would he ever need a chair? He should just levitate all the time, right? Mike Back says, are you going to wait for August to debate Peter? I wonder if Trump fall for QAnon because Q followers follows his B, and it's so funny. Wow, okay, are you having a stroke? Are you good? Von Tuck says, the master insists on levitating a room filled with industrial strength fans. I don't know when I'm going to talk to Peter. I'll have to get with him about it. Mr. Fred Rogers says, hey, Hannah, take my bits, you wonderful human. Well, thank you for the bits. At the time, I was focused on my studies in pursuit of nirvana. I can Google the photos, they're dumb. What's the guy's name again? Here we go. Shoko Asahara. This is the photo of him levitating. That seems legit. Mike Max says, meant that QAnon followers Trump BS. Meant that QAnon follows Trump BS, and it looks now that Trump follows QAnon BS with his return to office in August. Yeah, I don't know. That's not TOS. He's wearing pants. They're just shorts. It seriously looks like he got together with someone and he was like, all right, up here or something, there's either a ladder or whatever. He's up on something, and then he's like, okay, you need to take a picture like I'm levitating while I'm falling in midair, which you can kind of tell because his hair's sticking up. You know, like he's falling because he is, and he has a look on his face like he is falling because he just nudged himself off of something up above where the frame of the photo is. Or, yeah, maybe he just has really strong legs and he did figure out a way to, like, and he got up in the air. Either way, this picture was taken at the moment where he's going downwards. Anyway, great proof. That's sure is proof you can fly. That's not levitating, just give me Taco Bell and watch me fly. Without a guru, I was practicing alone, so I refined my study through repeated trial and error. Why can't I see it on video? Show me the video of you flying, you liar. Stormfox says, ah yes, the look of true enlightenment. Fryzerburn says, hype train time. Here's the fun thing. You said that everyone from this attack got arrested and hung or hanged. This guy's probably not going to sue me. He's probably dead. So, yeah, he's lying. He's lying.
だからこの空中浮揚を経験したとき、自分の
I built confidence in my study methods and I became very happy with myself. Because according to Buddhist literature, levitation is one of the 6 miracles that one can achieve with proper training. He's dead, but his daughter's alive? Does she claim to have any powers? Jesus Christ, and that's just episode 1! Oh my goodness. So, I guess that's them. Kinda weird. His daughter runs the cult now. That's a shame. Lily Lovestuff says, he was executed in 2017. In Japan, if you're on death row, they don't tell you what your execution date is. They just roll up on the day and say it's time for you to die and take you out then. That's kind of sad. I don't think I agree with that. I've heard Japan has a relatively brutal justice system, though. Like, I've heard their conviction rates are crazy high, so... I don't know. What is hell like? This video is going to tell us what hell is like. I'm so excited.
This is the part of hell called the Hell of Strife. It is the world where those who had hearts full of anger and conflict, or who hurt people.
This is gonna be TOS, are you sure? Hold on, I'll skim through it without the camera.
Through physical or verbal violence come to. It is a world of confrontation and destruction.
What's Squirrel and Hedgehog? Is that like a North Korean cartoon or something?
You're worthless. It is the hell of the inescapable pit. This is where those who envied happy or successful people and tried to drag them down, or those who strenuously pursued the rat race, finally come down to.
North Korean propaganda anime. Sounds interesting. Dan Rossi Draws, thanks for subscribing for 12 months. Says, working through art block with true crime, YouTube, and now Hannah. Happy Saturday. Well, I hope you can find some creative juices to get flowing. Cool Cat 1256 with 40 bits says, this is how the right sees BLM.
It is where debauched people who lived obsessed with opposite sexes come to.
Not same
Stay
sex,
here
though.
Until they realize
The gays
like
are fine.
human beings. 100 here and
This isn't
created
TOS.
to repent. Come here.
Sorry, I'm looking for more anime. I'm a bit of a weeb, but only when it comes to cult animes. This says, Venus, 400 million years ago. About 400 million years ago.
El Cantare moved the spiritual life force of the Venusians that he had once created to the planet Earth. And he granted them the power of procreation.
Wait, we're all Venusian? Cool. Lord Necro JZ, thanks for subscribing at tier 3 on a 2-month streak. Thank you. Oh, this seems super legit.
Live as human beings.
And they're like, what the fuck is a human being? What? So they're just simultaneously creating a ton of people. These people have belly buttons, or... just in case. I'm taking this off the screen until they invent clothes. And this is where the biggest mistake in the universe began. Is it Douglas Adams in chat? You know what detail I appreciate on the characters, though, which you can't see because they're not on screen right now? They don't have belly buttons. Like, that's a good detail. Of course they wouldn't have belly buttons. They didn't have umbilical cords. Mike Max says, Japanese Scientology.
Wisdom and courage. Grace and compassion.
No nipples either, though. That one's a little weirder.
And so, human beings were created on Earth.
Hydrate. Okay. Okay, pretty sure they're not naked from here on out, and even then we didn't see anything, so it's probably fine.
The descendants of those human beings multiplied steadily.
Oh shoot, didn't mean to do that. Don't you hate when the subtitles and the dubs are slightly translated differently? That's annoying.
And when the population exceeded 770 million,
These humans should have the opportunity to experience leadership.
So El Cantare then decided to have them teach and guide other human-like entities who were transferred to Earth from neighboring planets.
Oh Jesus. Are the other animals on Earth gonna be just aliens? This is like that South Park episode where they're like, yeah, usually it's like one species per planet. That's how it works. But Earth is a reality show where we took species from all over. Von Tuck says, if there turns out to be bacteria in the clouds of Venus, I wonder if the remnants of the cult will take it as validation. Maybe.
Invited 3 grand spirits to come together to draw up the master plan.
The ninth dimensional cosmic realm. Don't you love when people just put words together and act like it means something? Armor, aka Jesus Christ, and Therabim, which is of course Confucius, and Moria, who is Moses, religious
These
philosophers.
three grand spirits from the ninth dimension presented their ideas on how to integrate the human-like beings into Earth.
Is this is this loud enough for you guys?
And then,
Oh no, they think dinosaurs existed on the same... What? Okay. They think dinosaurs existed at the same time as humans? That's not good. They didn't.
It was at this time that the dinosaurs began to overtake the surface of the Earth. So the decision was made to integrate the planet's first group of immigrants, a warlike race from the Magellanic Cloud.
Enlil. This guy is apparently Satan. He's a cat boy. Lord Necro JZ, thanks for gifting a tier 3 sub. Wow. Bellum Guardian says, I did a big weed before this. Wish me luck, boys.
But lacking the spirit of harmony, these first immigrants were extremely arrogant, and El Cantare decided to invite another group of immigrants to Earth. 1 billion new immigrants
I unironically love this.
arrived from the constellation.
Trump is having a rally in 35 minutes. I bet it's a shit show. Mike Mack says, can we just wake up as a Thoth and end everything already? Who wants to... I will bet $1 that Donald Trump thinly alludes to some sort of violence to get him the presidency back in August. That he somehow was like, well, maybe your Second Amendment could do something about that. I will bet $1. Only $1 because I don't think it's necessarily going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me if it did.
Orion in a huge fleet, and with them came yet another 3 grand spirits.
Wait, Newton? That's not supposed to be Isaac Newton, is it? Because that wasn't that long ago. Pyromancer says, I bet a Dogecoin. What's Dogecoin up to? Von Tuck says, cults need to make more anime. Can we get a Kickstarter going for anime, for Japanese QAnon to make an anime? That'd be awesome.
Next came the third group of immigrants, totaling 2 billion entities who journeyed from Pegasus, and they brought with them 2 more grand
Zeus!
spirits.
Zoroaster, which I assume has to do with Zoroastrianism or whatever it is. Overthought says, Trump will mention Cali overturning an assault weapons ban and suggest the Republicans of the state rise up. Oh, goodness. I could see him doing it. Mike Mack says, easy money ever made. You should have bet more. No, because he might not.
As a result, the 10 ninth-dimensional grand spirits all assembled and set forth to guide the terrestrial spirit group of Earth.
The only sure things in life are death and taxes.
As it stands now, El Cantare's spirit group has increased its numbers to more than 40 billion, whereas the total of all the immigrant groups represent less than 10% of the whole population. The number of immigrants needs to be increased.
Are you proposing, then, another immigration?
No, they can multiply on Earth. We must create a Pytron.
Of course, a Pytron. Why didn't I think of that?
It will be used to reproduce the spiritual bodies of the immigrants.
What?
And at first, the plan seemed to be working.
Vulcans? Or elves, I guess?
However,
many of the bodies who were recreated with the Pytron forgot their spiritual nature. They soon abandoned themselves to a world of materialism
Oh no, those two were having a fornication. You shouldn't do that.
and other physical desires.
Clearly, consensual sex is the same as all the other things being shown.
Everyone's doing it. Shouldn't we enjoy ourselves while we're still alive?
Next world? Who cares?
What's so wrong with having fun now?
Where are we?
What's happening? What's going on here?
After their deaths, these spirits began to inhabit the bottom level of the spirit world.
And this was the beginning of hell.
Before its numbers reached 1 billion, the production of human spirits by the Pytron was banned. And then, some 120 million years ago, one of the leaders from the Magellanic Cloud was reborn on Earth.
Oh no, it's Satan! I thought the other Catboy was Satan. That's my bad.
He became attached to status, material goods, and sensual pleasures, and as a result became
Based Satan.
corrupt.
Well, that's the end of the video. I guess that's how that worked. We'll have to watch the whole thing at some point, maybe. I guess it is a whole movie. They've produced films, so there's on this there's 11 movies. Some of these I assume are clips from the movies, but I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's five feature-length films here, so we'll take a look at those some other time.
That's
going on. The Republican voter wants this story.
Welcome, Patriot.
All right. It's time for one of our other favorite cultists, Peter Hanna. This episode in particular of his, gosh, which episode is this? Peter's Trump updates is particularly bonkers. So let's take a look. Bitter Grin says, I wish American cults had production values like that. I know. They gotta step their game up.
I want to find out what's going on. The Republican voter wants this story.
Welcome, Patriots. Majestic 12 has come out, and through reading all their posts, I've been able to confirm that some of my craziest ideas about how Trump's going to win are correct. And some of the information I've been saying about how Trump's going to win is incorrect. So does Trump
Again, if you missed some of the previous episodes of the Peter saga, Peter is now following an account on Telegram that claims to be Majestic 12, which, if you don't know what Majestic 12 is, have you seen X-Files? You know the smoking man? He worked for Majestic 12. Have you seen Men in Black? That's Majestic 12. Majestic 12 is a fictional organization that conspiracy theorists made up that are basically just the Men in Black. They're a secret, clandestine government organization that deals with UFOs and alien technology and alien contact and stuff like that. So Peter believes that this anonymous online account is the Men in Black communicating with him and other QAnon people.
Control the U.S. military? Yes and no, depending on how you define U.S. military. My name is Peter Hanna. This is Peter's Trump Updates. Click on the subscription button in the bottom right corner of the screen so you can stay updated on when Trump's coming back, how he's coming back, how he's fighting, and all this exciting news. Now, if you...
Majestic 12 was shown in Umbrella Academy Season 2. Yeah. They're relatively common in fiction.
Stick around to the end of the video. I'll tell you what I know about who Majestic 12 are and where they're located. The truth will blow your mind, that's for sure. So,
they're again, clandestine secret government organization that no one knows exists, but Peter, unemployed pot smoker who lives with his parents in a cult in Pennsylvania, has cracked the code and knows exactly where their headquarters is. So, kind of makes every other intelligence agency in the world look really stupid.
Let me dive right into it. Majestic 12 was asked, is Trump going to use the U.S. military to take Biden out? And I talked about this previously, and Majestic 12 said no. And I was like, what? And they're like, well, how is Biden going to stop being president? And then Majestic 12 replied, World War III. And I'm like, what? But then they did another AMA, and they asked Majestic 12, is Trump using the U.S. military to defeat the deep state, at least? At least he's going to use the U.S. military for that? And then Majestic 12 said, no. And I'm just like, what?
This anonymous source that claims to hunt aliens and deal with aliens for a living is telling me that former President Donald Trump isn't going to do a military coup using the armed forces. What is happening? Pyromancer says the key to figuring it out was some dirt-laced CBD. He has an abundance of that. So, how old's Peter? I believe 32. I think 32.
And so people were like, what in the world? Trump's not using the U.S. military to fight the deep state?
It does look like he bought a new camera or something. He definitely comes in clear.
Because without the U.S. military behind Trump, how exactly is he going to win this war, right? So I was like, what? And all those people are like, what? So we kept digging, asking questions. And then the next question was, so exactly how is Trump going to defeat the deep state? What?
Guys, I want chat to guess for me. How do you think Majestic 12, the Men in Black organization, it's not really, of course, we know that, but, you know, how do you think they're going to claim that Donald Trump is going to defeat the deep state? Pyromancer says TV is missing. Maybe packed it up to move to Texas despite saying no. Could be. He would certainly lie to me directly. I have no delusions about that, but my theory was that he had to pawn it because he's doing that MLM thing. My theory was that in order to keep up with his orders, because there's like a minimum $160 order per month or something, in order to stay an affiliate of that MLM, I thought maybe he sold it so he could, you know, buy his product for the month or whatever, but could be a move.
What's he using to defeat the deep state? And that was just the right question to ask, because Majestic 12 answered. Trump is using Majestic 12 and the Space Force.
So now Peter's hopes of a coup against the rightful leadership of the United States, which in the executive right now is Joe Biden, who was elected president, is that the Men in Black, in association with the Space Force are going to somehow install Trump as dictator. Is it weirder than the things he believed before, or are we just laterally moving now at this point? It's hard to tell. Once he kind of hit that peak, you know? I don't know. Diminishing returns on the crazy, I'd say. Hydrate. Okay. Pyromancer says, what's next? Trump is using Space Force to build a moon laser? That'd be cool. I want a moon laser.
To go ahead and defeat the deep state. Now, this is something that Majestic 12 has talked about before. Majestic 12 made a post saying that the Space Force will be fighting this war, as you can see. And Biden has no idea how to command the Space Force. So, when I said Trump controlled the U.S. military, I was right and I was
Peter,
wrong.
Listen. The Space Force is a thing that was recently made its own branch. Prior to that, it had a different name. It was a part of the Air Force. I forget. I think it was like Air Force Strategic Space Command or something along those lines, and then it got spun off into the Space Force. Similarly to how the United States Air Force, I believe, used to be part of the Army. I don't remember if it was the Army or the Navy. And then once, you know, airplane usage in war became a bigger thing, they spun it off into the Air Force, right? Similar thing here. Space Force became its own thing. Space Force, however, does not have spaceships. They do not have fighter ships. They don't do that, Peter. Because it seems to me that you're thinking some sort of Star Wars thing here where you're like, Space Force is going to come in with their X-Wings and they're gonna stop Biden. No, Space Force mostly deals with, like, technology, engineering for space stuff, satellites, intelligence using satellites and cyber systems and stuff. I sound like Mike Lindell, cyber systems. But seriously, they do, like, IT and stuff. They have all sorts of stuff going on. But they're not... They don't have spaceships that they're going to use to take over the government, if I need to say that. Mike Mack says, Space Force is run by Michael from The Office. I actually haven't seen that show on Netflix.
Apparently, when talking about the U.S. military, I assumed that...
And by the way, I'm not even saying that'll always be the case. I would imagine 50, 60 years from now, I don't even know how long, no one's good at judging time scales for technology. Someday Space Force will probably actually have... Oh god, I hate that they call them this. They call members of the Space Force Guardians. I hate that. I hope they change it someday. I would imagine someday there will be active duty Guardians who actually do have fucking spaceships or whatever and go into, like, low Earth orbit to do whatever things they do. Horrifying future battles. I have no idea. But they don't right now, and they're not gonna for the foreseeable future. Storm Fox says, Peter loves the idea that Trump can end anyone anywhere at any time, but he definitely wants a peaceful coup. Obviously.
Included the Space Force. That's not what's being implied by Majestic 12, because when they asked, is the U.S. military being used to fight the deep state? Majestic 12 said no. But then Majestic 12 said the Space Force is being used to fight this war and fight the deep state. So...
That's a contradiction anyway, because the Space Force is part of the armed services. Von Tuck says, fun fact, Guardians is the name for soldiers in Gilead. I wonder if some weirdo did that on purpose. Yikes. Gilead, for those who don't know, is the dystopian, fascist, ethno-Christian nationalist place in A Handmaid's Tale. It's basically America after it gets taken over by right-wing fascists. Thrashmeo says, space debris is bad enough without blowing crap up. Yeah.
I guess the Space Force is not really part of the U.S. military.
It is. It literally is. They have a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff that's a Space Force person now. John Fallon, thanks for subscribing for 9 months. Stream baby. This baby's name is Pietro Quadoba. Pietro Quadoba.
This also brings up a lot of questions, like, is Biden commanding the U.S. military, or
Yes, he's the commander-in-chief of the military. That's how the presidency works.
If Trump's not commanding them, can they rebel? Can they disobey orders? I don't have the answer to that. But seeing how the U.S. military has been acting heroically, I have a feeling that Biden doesn't have that much control of the U.S. military. But Trump's not commanding the U.S. military either, which means maybe their generals are, and the Pentagon is commanding it, and they're kind of on Trump's side. Who knows?
Occam's razor. No, Joe Biden is the president, ergo, he's in control of the military as per the Constitution.
But what's interesting is that I knew for a fact that if Trump didn't have the Space Force or U.S. military or anything, it was game over for us. There's no way he could win this war. So that's why I kept saying, Trump commands the U.S. military, Trump commands the U.S. military, because I knew Trump would not just let go of all military power.
That's not up to him, Peter. Peter, I don't think you understand how the transfer of power works in the United States. Trump does not have to voluntarily say, okay, I'm no longer in control of the military. It doesn't matter. They could have drug him out of the Oval Office kicking and screaming. It wouldn't matter. At noon on January 20th, the powers of the president transfer to the winner of the election, which was Joe Biden. At noon on the 20th, Donald Trump lost all executive power. Period. End of story. He doesn't have to relinquish it. That's not any... Read the Constitution, Peter. My God. Mike Max says, Peter is so gullible, like the guy that thought Obama was involved in 9/11 shown in the Trevor Noah show. I know, it's so bad. Color by Emmy says, missed a few beats. WTF is Majestic 12, the Men in Black, but he thinks they're real. Ilium Gal says, talking about religious conspiracy theories and fictional government organizations that deal with aliens, the co-creator of Doctor Who's Brigadier, Lethbridge Stewart, leader of UNIT, helped to come up with the conspiracy theory that Christ had children with Mary Magdalene and was covered up by the Catholic Church, as later ripped on by Dan Brown, author of the Da Vinci Code. Interesting.
Because if he had no military power whatsoever, he would lose. It'd be end of the United States. It'd be end of the world. So,
you wonder if Peter ever took a civics course? Peter is in a cult. He was raised in a cult. So he may have been homeschooled. I have no idea, though. I'll ask him next time we talk.
I knew, because Team Trump is very, very intelligent, they would not let go of all that power. So what they did, it appears, is maybe
they don't have an option, Peter. That's not how it works.
They did let go of some of the power to command the U.S. military, but they kept the most important and powerful.
I like the idea that Donald Trump leaving the door, on that day, and he goes, and they go, okay, Donald, the storm is coming, the plan is on its way. All right, which parts of the armed services do you want? And he's like, I don't need the Navy. I hate the Navy. I don't like getting wet. I hate the Air Force. I don't want Air Force. I don't like the Army. John McCain was in the Army. Fuck the Army. Space Force. I just want Space Force. I made the Space Force. That's the only one I need. And he lets go of all the other branches of the military, but not Space Force. Brilliant strategy. Lily Lovestuff says, my friend who grew up in the same cult, was homeschooled, but her brothers all went to public school. That's very strange. Stormfox says, I can actively see Peter do mental gymnastics backwards to prove his point. I know, it's frustrating.
Powers, which is the Space Force. And I'll tell you why the Space Force is so powerful.
He's gonna say alien technology. I'm calling it now.
If I were to choose, honestly, I think the Space Force is 10 times more powerful than, like, 1 billion soldiers.
It's a running theme that I talk about Peter, and I talk about the fact that he thinks like a child. Like I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. It just feels like there's a genuine case of arrested development here in the way he views the world. Like, think about what he just said and pretend it came out of the mouth of like a 12-year-old. It makes way more sense if a 12-year-old says something like, I think space, like imagine they're arguing with their friends on the bus or something. The Space Force is so cool because space is awesome, and space with aliens. They have alien technology, and they're probably the bestest and better than, like, 1 billion soldiers. Like, that's child mentality. That's immature mentality. That's not how adults think. And he's out here, a full-grown adult with 3 kids, being like, yep, this is a legitimate political commentary right here. A bajillion. You know what? It's better than a bajillion soldiers, Peter. Mike Mack says, Peter, Trump will return on August. Also, Peter, when Trump doesn't return in August, it's all part of the plan. Trust the plan. I'm so excited for the end of August. It's going to be glorious.
I know it sounds like exaggeration, but the thing is, I don't know, because I've been
honestly,
abducted
hopefully I'll
several
be
times.
moved or moving during August, and then hopefully, like, I can just chill in my new office wherever it is, and, like, I don't know, just really, really enjoy Peter having a mental breakdown. I think that'll be a nice end of summer treat for me. I don't know.
Aliens exist. Aliens have been trading technology with us, and the Space Force is where, like, 95% of all the alien technology that United States government has, United States military has, is in the Space Force.
Why do you think that? Why do you think aliens are real? And don't tell me your anecdotes about, I've been abducted by aliens. A lot of people have claimed to be abducted by aliens. I don't believe them, and I don't believe you. In fairness, I think you believe it. I don't think you're outright lying. I just think you're delusional. You have no evidence that aliens even exist, much less that they visited Earth, much less that they're involved in this organization, Majestic 12, much less that they've given technology to them, much less that they're working with Space Force, much less that Space Force is working with Trump, much less that Trump is going to take over with Space Force in August. Do you see how many levels of just made-up bullshit you have to go through just to debunk it? Like, it's not even pure delusion at this point, because delusion at least has one toe in reality, right? Like, you might think weird things about reality, but you're still in it. Peter is not operating on this plane of existence at this point. He's in a complete fantasy world. Dankherm, thanks for 20 bits.
The Space Force has technology to, for example, locate any human on Earth, and to, from what I understand, kill any human on Earth with some type of satellite or laser.
Oh my god, he really thinks it's a space laser. Jilly Foo, thanks for subscribing for 2 months. Guys, if all of a sudden the stream ever goes down and a big flash of light, then the Space Force got me with the laser. So. Pyromancer says, called it. You're right. You did call it. Space laser.
I don't know, gives people a heart attack or cancer or whatever.
It's a space laser that gives you a heart attack or cancer. Well, according to Peter, weed cures everything. So I'm going to go to the dispensary and buy all the weed, and I'm going to smoke it constantly. That way, if the deep state tries to, or no, not the deep state. That way, if Majestic 12 tries to kill me with a heart attack or cancer, I'll be smoking the dank ganja, and I'll be immune. Take that, Peter. You've revealed all your secrets to the deep state. Now the deep state's just gonna be high all the time, and they'll be protected from the alien space laser, you fool. Dank Herm says, pretty rad way to die, not gonna lie. Jilly Foo says, guess Peter's parents took the laptop charger too now. Pyromancer says, need a weed foil hat. And then Wing the Ultimate Nug subscribes for 12 months, says 1 year of Hannah is not enough Hannah. Well, I'll be here for a while. Don't worry, I'm not done yet. Mike Mack says, don't these people know how energy and light work? He probably saw Omni-Man being attacked by a laser and thought it was real.
The point is just the fact that Trump commands a Space Force, which means he can track all enemies at all times and kill any of them at any point.
That sounds like, and this is the weird thing to me. Peter says this like he'd be happy about it. If such a weapon existed, I would be horrified regardless of who had control over that weapon. A precision strike to kill anyone on Earth at any time and also to locate them at any time, which is literally the weapon from, hold on. in the episode Mirror Mirror from Star Trek, the original series, Evil Kirk had... I don't want that. I want the thing that Kirk... What the heck is it called? There was a name for the weapon. Anyway, Evil Kirk had a weapon on his ship that allowed him to, like, type in someone's name, and it would find them on a ship, and he could immediately disintegrate anyone on the ship at any time. It's like that, but on a global scale. Evil Kirk was not the good guy in that episode, Peter. You're not supposed to think someone unilaterally having the power to murder anyone with no evidence. You're not supposed to root for that guy and go, yay! Tantalus device, thank you. Bitter Grin says, if Trump could kill anyone at any time, then why are any of his enemies still alive? Why is CNN still standing, right? Hillary Clinton would be dead. Joe Biden would be dead. Mike Mack says, USA has a laser, yet still in war in the Middle East for 20 years. That was just for funsies. That's a hobby, you know?
He basically is the most powerful person on Earth right now.
I find it interesting, and I don't know if there's any correlation here, but I'm going to keep an eye on it as we continue watching Peter in the coming months. The further away we get from the election and inauguration, and the more obvious it gets to everyone that, you know, the QAnon stuff is nonsense. Of course, it already was to us anyway, but the longer it gets away, it gets more and more obvious to most people that this is all just bullshit. But the further away we get from the inauguration, the more desperate Peter seems to get in order to try and bolster Trump as a more and more powerful figure in his model of the world. Because he has to in order to explain the increasingly slim odds of Trump coming back. You know what I mean? Because if Trump is gone for, it's been 5 months now, or it's been 6 months now, apologies. Trump's not been president for 6 months. Why hasn't he done anything? If he has all this power, wow, he must be really, really powerful if he's biding his time and waiting this long. This has to be the rationalization he comes up with, because the real explanations are untenable to him, because it would mean admitting he's been wrong this whole time, and that Trump is just a guy. So instead he goes the other way. Trump is the most powerful man on Earth. He can kill anyone at any time. That's why he's not worried about this. It's very, very strange. I'll be sorry in August, Hannah. I'm sorry most of the time. I have severe self-esteem issues. Dan Kerm says, deep breathing noises. He's planning something. Just wait. Overdoses on copium.
At least Team Trump is. Now, from what I'm hearing, reading Majestic 12 posts, is that Trump isn't the mastermind behind all this. He is the brand. He's like the spokesperson on behalf of Team God, who's saving the world and all that.
I would find a better spokesperson if I were God than Donald Trump.
But the mastermind behind this whole winning this war is actually Majestic 12. And that's very interesting when you find out who Majestic 12 are and where they're located. I mean, down the rabbit hole we go, right? So Majestic 12 is actually, as you could say, Trump's handlers in a sense. They're the people giving Trump orders. Trump is not the mastermind. Majestic 12 is the most powerful.
I wonder if part of this, and part of what he's saying right now, is a justification to almost pre-move the goalposts. Because obviously Donald Trump's an older guy. He's not in good shape. He's under a lot of stress, probably, because he's a narcissist, and that's an incredibly stressful way to live. I wonder if he's already starting to move the goalposts and saying Donald Trump is the most powerful man on Earth, but really he's being handled by Majestic 12 so that when Donald Trump passes away, probably of natural causes, then he can say, well, Majestic 12 was really in charge the whole time, and now they have a new person. And then he and the other Q people will, you know, latch onto whatever the next fasci figurehead is in the Republican Party, and they'll continue basically the same as they have been, just putting someone else in the place of Trump. That would be bad.
Powerful organization on Earth. They're the masterminds. Trump is one of their assets, as you can say, and they're using the technology of the Space Force. Now, on top of the ability to track every single human and kill any human that they want, The Space Force also has alien spaceships, incredible technologies. If I were to guess, everything I've told you about what the Space Force has is what I know for sure they have.
You know for sure they have alien spaceships. What do you think for sure means, Peter?
But if I were to guess, the Space Force also has the technology to read anyone's mind that they want, and the Space Force can control people.
I feel like they're gonna read my mind, and it's just gonna be the me channel music on a loop. Doon doo doon doon doo doon doon doon. Doo doo doon doon doo doon doon.
Control their mind and get them to do things. So, if this is true, all Trump needs is the Space Force. Even if you have like all planet Earth, like every person on planet Earth is a soldier and they're all fighting the Space Force, Space Force would still win.
Can we not genocide the Earth, Peter? I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Von Tug says, Space Force doesn't have a cancer laser, but maybe they have a cancer gin? What is this? Oh, it's from Wishmaster. I can't play the clip because movie. I haven't seen Wishmaster in a long, long time.
Because Space Force can kill anyone, track everyone, probably read everyone's mind, control anyone.
Kind of sounds like they're the deep state then, Peter. If they're in complete control and can read anyone's mind and kill anyone at any time, kind of sounds like they're the bad guys, right? Good guys don't do that.
And they got all these spaceships and incredible alien technology. So it's interesting. At first, I was like, oh, Trump doesn't control the U.S. military. He's not using the fight. Oh, no, we're doomed. But then I was like, oh, we got the Space Force. We got this in the bag. Because that's where the alien tech is. He's got all the new fancy, powerful, beyond our imagination technology. Some of which is time travel technology, from what I hear. Definitely time travel technology. Majestic 12 could do...
Definitely time travel technology. 100%. Technology that we don't even know could possibly theoretically exist. Peter knows for sure that it exists and that the Men in Black are working with the aliens in order to use this time travel technology to somehow put Trump in as dictator 8 months after the election. Okay, genius.
Did confirm that
Adia Blue says, time travel is the worst kind of sci-fi. Debate me. How dare you? Time travel is my favorite subgenre of sci-fi, and sci-fi is my favorite genre of fiction. So I will fight you. And guess what? I have a space laser too.
That two of the powerful assets or tools being used to fight this war is people with powerful psychic abilities like telepathy and remote viewing, and also
Peter, people don't have psychic abilities. Don't exist, Peter. Stormfox999 says, didn't Peter threaten to sue you for saying he wants his political enemies dead? He did. And here he is talking all about how Space Force can murder anyone on Earth at any time for any reason based on their thoughts. Cool.
Quantum computing. So remember when I said Team Trump has this quantum computer and they're like analyzing things strategically by putting data in, and then the quantum computer analyzes like what's going to be the counter move by the deep state. So
it's a quantum computer. It's a Dell from the 90s that they slapped a sticker on that says quantum. And they just have Trump type things into the email, and they send it to some intern, and the intern has to reply like they're a quantum computer. Yes, Mr. Trump, this is your quantum computer. It's excellent. This is the greatest piece of technology I think I've ever seen. This is amazing. This is the best. This is why we hire the best, okay? Oh, great. Well, Mr. Trump, my bill will be in the mail. Here's the thing. You're doing a great service to your country. you'll be seeing my lawyers. What? Sorry, I cannot pay. I'm not very liquid right now. My taxes are under audit from the IRS. Pyromancer says, Peter, when people say they can remote view, they're probably talking about a computer remote access.
It's basically a computer that helps them come out with the perfect strategy. I was right about that, and I was right about the psychic powers. And
I'm surprised he hasn't brought up, like, if I'm a crazy person and I'm coming up with something like this, I say, like, you know, it's like in Avengers Endgame when Doctor Strange had to let them lose for a little while because there was only one true path to victory, and it involved losing for 5 years and then coming back. It was the one option. This is that. But he doesn't say that. You can have that one for free, Peter.
And you're going to find out I was right about other stuff as well. But this is very exciting because that's all we need. All we need is Trump to control some aspect of the U.S. military, which in this case is just the Space Force, which is the most important aspect. And it's interesting that Biden doesn't know how to command the Space Force. So it's kind of like, I was wondering, you know, when Trump wasn't president anymore and Biden was president, I was like, what's going on here?
So you're now admitting that Biden is president and Trump is not. That's an evolution. Pyromancer says, also, Hannah, I blame you for Peter's new quantum computer fixation. I just asked him about it, okay? He brought up quantum computers, and I was like, define a quantum computer for me. What do you think a quantum computer does? That's not on me.
If Biden controls the entire U.S. military, including the Space Force, and Trump doesn't, it's game over.
It's game over. There you go. The Space Force have a website. They must, like a spaceforce.gov. Spaceforce.mil, military. Cool. About us, about Space Force. Mission. Office of the Chief of Space Operations, Space Force Organization, Space Force symbols, space capabilities, history. What's the mission of Space Force? The USSF is a military service that organizes, trains, and equips space forces in order to protect the U.S. and allied interests in space and to provide space capabilities to the joint force. USSF responsibilities include developing Guardians, again, that's what they call the soldiers, acquiring military space systems, maturing the military doctrine for space power, and organizing space forces to present to our combatant commands. Billy SC137, thanks for subscribing with a 3-month streak, says, hi everyone, hope everyone's well. I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Space capabilities? Let's see what this says. The new independent U.S. Space Force will maintain and enhance the competitive edge of the DoD in space, that's the Department of Defense, while adapting to new strategic challenges. Space lift operations at the east and west coast launch bases provide services, facilities, and range safety control for the conduct of the Department of Defense, NASA, and commercial space launches. So it looks like they're either building or doing launch sites, or building. They're probably building or maintaining launch sites. Through the command and control of all Department of Defense satellites, satellite operators provide force-multiplying effects, continuous global coverage, low vulnerability, and autonomous operations. Satellites provide essential in-theater secure communications, weather, and navigational data for ground, air, and fleet operations, and threat warning. So they handle the Department of Defense's array of satellites for various operational services and stuff within the military, within all of the armed services, rather. Ground-based and space-based systems monitor ballistic missile launches around the world to guard against a surprise missile attack on North America. A global network of space surveillance sensors provide vital information on the location of satellites and space debris from the nation and the world. Maintaining space superiority is an emerging capability required to protect the U.S. space assets from hostile attack. So basically, they're in very early phases of any of this stuff. Right now, they're working on launch sites for future projects that they're probably going to do in tandem with, like, SpaceX and Boeing. And then they're maintaining the Department of Defense's satellite grid. Again, like, that's great. That's fine. We could talk about the armed services as a whole and my opinions on the military, but that's not really what we're here for. The Space Force is not a group of people hanging out in their X-Wings flying around in space. It's engineers and other people with military experience working on technology related to space. They are not hanging out in space currently. Daylight Reckoning, thank you for subscribing for 5 months.
So, like, how is this part of the plan? How is this part of the strategy? So it's just so interesting that Trump was like, oh, we'll let Biden be president.
Space forces to fight against space ISIS, don't you know? I don't know. Thanks for letting me know. Field Weddle says, talking about conspiracies.
I've been sleeping on my
oh, God.
pillows for some time. I love them.
This is Rudy Giuliani doing a My Pillow ad.
Simply the very best pillows ever made. But I just found out that they also have a wide assortment of other incredible products like their mattress topper, sheets, towels, and slippers, and more.
Yikes. Shmoop B, thanks for subscribing for 6 months.
We'll let him be president, don't worry. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a new military branch called the Space Force. It's going to have the most powerful technology. It's going to be the most powerful area of the entire military.
There aren't even that many people in Space Force. Hold on. How many members of Space Force? There are only 4,840 personnel working for the Space Force. Space Force is the smallest U.S. armed service, consisting of under 5,000 personnel and operating 77 spacecraft including satellites. So, no, just for reference, how many people are in the Air Force? So, under 5,000 people are in Space Force. There are 329,000 active duty personnel in the Air Force, for reference. Do you see the issue? Mike Mack says, you know Trump is an idiot. Even Joker knew how to pay his taxes. I mean, that's how Al Capone was caught. Yep.
I guess they don't consider it part of the U.S. military, but I still do. It's going to be the most powerful thing, and I'm not going to tell Biden how to command it, how to control it. As far as Biden knows, he has no way to command them, control them, look for them, contact them. Trump controls this most powerful military branch. So this is very exciting news. I'm just so happy to hear that he's going to slay it with the Space Force. And so,
literally with a laser.
You got this far in the video, I'm going to tell you, because remember, Majestic 12 said Trump is fighting the deep state with the Space Force and Majestic 12. It's a very interesting statement because Majestic 12 is an incredible asset. Why? Well, I'll tell you why right now. No one in the Majestic 12 organization is a human being. They're not Earthlings. They're all aliens. I know that sounds crazy.
You don't say. Jilly Foo says aliens, huh? And Cool Cat says best plot twist this season. Tube Man says, I remember getting into an argument with a guy in one of my old raid groups who said we needed to get troops into space so China doesn't take control of space. He was dead serious and had to yell at him about how that would be stupid. And Stormfox says, fun fact, Joker hates Nazis. Look it up. I actually know that.
But we're going down the rabbit hole. On top of that...
Hats off? Okay, I'm not changing the hat, though. I'm putting on glasses, because that is included in hats off. I can add glasses.
The Majestic 12 organization is not located on Earth. They're located on the moon base. The moon is actually a spaceship. I know we're going down the rabbit hole.
Mr. Peter Hanna, I have so many questions. Pyromancer says still called it, I guess. So the moon's a spaceship. That's no moon.
But this stuff's gonna be released anyways. I'm okay with it.
Hydrate.
The moon is not a natural satellite. If you look...
Except it is. Except it is. The moon is a natural satellite of our planet. It's the moon.
Look at it. Our moon is the only moon ever discovered ever in all of the galaxy or whatever that doesn't rotate. It goes around the Earth, but it's locked on, which...
It's called tidal locking, you idiot. There's a word for it, and no, Earth's moon is not the only satellite to have tidal locking. Stormfox says, Doctor Who taught me the moon is an egg. Your move, Peter. It's true, it's a dragon egg. Cotton Candy says, this is definitely a rabbit hole, but it's certainly not the one he thinks. Okay. Examples of tidal locking. Pluto and Charon are an extreme example of tidal lock. Charon is a relatively large moon in comparison to its primary, and also has a very close orbit. This results in Pluto and Charon being mutually tidally locked. The top example of tidal locking isn't even Earth's moon. Peter, not only does tidal locking exist elsewhere in the universe, it exists within our solar system. You absolute idiot. Spend 5 seconds Googling something before you make a statement. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go with the QAnon line. Do your own research. Fucking do research then, Peter. Then do research and learn the most basic fact about the universe, you dumb shit. Jilly Foo says, we need the Hannah and Hannah show. It's just Peter talking about aliens and you laughing. I'd watch. Mike Max says, Peter, Star Wars isn't real. The Death Star is fake. And the Poetic Fox says, Peter, what the fuck? Peter, please, just fucking stop. You need help. You need to be out in the world. What the fuck? I believe this is what the kids would usually respond with. Touch grass, Peter? Is normally the appropriate response to saying the moon is a spaceship.
Which is basically impossible.
You want what Peter is smoking? No, you don't. It's CBD he made at home, full of dirt and isopropyl alcohol. You definitely don't want it.
Also, because of the...
We watched him make it the other day.
Location of the moon close to Earth, if that was actually a satellite, the gravity of Earth would pull the moon right into Earth and would explode. So...
Do you know how satellites work? It's in orbit. It's in orbit, Peter. Do you know what an orbit is? Something being a satellite does not mean it's going to crash into Earth. If it's in a stable orbit, then it very much will not do that.
That itself tells you that the moon is not a natural, normal satellite. The fact that it doesn't rotate on its axis...
It does. It just does so at the same rate that the Earth rotates, thus tidal locking. You don't even know what you're talking about, and you're talking with such confidence.
And the fact that it's too close to Earth.
It's not. It's not too close to Earth. It's the distance it is from Earth, and it is in a stable orbit.
That it would actually crash into Earth if it was just a natural satellite. So the moon is, as I've just provided, it's evidence for it's not a normal satellite. It's a spaceship. That's how it's locked on. That's how it's able to repel Earth's gravity and stay close to Earth, but far away enough that it's not doing any damage. It's not crashing into Earth. So Majestic 12, and actually...
H. Baird says, you laugh now, Hannah, but when Peter gets into his X-Wing and blows up the moon, who will be laughing? I think in this case, I have to get an X-Wing and blow up the moon. Because the moon is the QAnon people, right?
Any species of aliens do have military bases on the moon. Majestic 12 is an organization of hundreds, if not maybe, I think about, if I were to guess, maybe like hundreds, maybe like 100 or 200, something like that.
Lily loves stuff with 20 bits says, I mean, the moon is moving away from the Earth, so Peter is extra wrong. Very slowly, it is.
Aliens that are working with Trump. So what's interesting is I said
aliens from other solar systems are very interested in American nationalism. That makes sense. Von Tuck says, a spaceship covered in dirt and ore deposits. Those aliens make weird design choices.
good aliens are working with Trump to help save the world. And the reaction I got from a lot of people was like, oh, that's crazy. Aliens don't exist. That doesn't make sense. And here we have Majestic 12, the ultimate source of information, saying, yes.
No.
We are Majestic.
Peter, to be clear, this is a random account on Telegram that is claiming to be Majestic 12, which is an organization that doesn't exist.
Majestic 12, we're working with the Space Force and Trump to save the world. And Majestic 12, we are all aliens. So it's like, oh, so I was right, huh? So this is very exciting. I did get a little bit wrong. He doesn't command all the U.S. military. And he does command the Space Force. So when I said I was right that he commands the U.S. military and I was wrong that he doesn't command all of it. I was right that he commands the most important, powerful, the Space Force. So
no, you're not right about any of this. In August, you're gonna cry. And that doesn't make me happy, Peter. It doesn't make me happy to see you in pain. But I really, really am concerned about you, and I'm afraid you're gonna, murder your family or something. This is not an accusation, Peter. I'm telling you, I'm worried about you, that at a certain point you are going to realize that all the QAnon stuff is bullshit, and you've been basing your life on a lie for, years, and you're gonna, snap and murder your family. And I don't want you to do that, Peter, so please don't. Jilly Foo says, Peter gets all 10s in mental gymnastics. He always sticks the landing.
We're still winning. We're still going to win. We have a lot of power. The future is very exciting. I'm so glad that I'm right about Majestic 12 being benevolent aliens working with us, because aliens are extremely intelligent. The ones that are interacting with Earth are extremely intelligent. So to have...
How would you even know, Peter? Cotton Candy says you need to stop smoking those chemicals.
A team of extremely intelligent, righteous aliens, an organization called Majestic 12, helping Trump in combination with the most advanced alien technology on Earth to fight this war. Boom, we got it in the bag. It's going to be okay. Now, I know this sounds very, very crazy, but watch Fox News. I know that sounds weird to say, but watch Fox News, watch the mainstream media. They're talking a lot about UFOs lately. Alien disclosure is happening. I know for a lot of...
They were talking about UFOs because the military basically said, yeah, sometimes we see stuff that we don't know what it is. And then everyone's like, oh my god, it's aliens. Because the media is stupid and depends on clickbait to exist.
Christians, it's hard to believe. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I go to church. I tithe. I'm still being abducted by aliens. I still believe in aliens. I've been abducted by good aliens, bad aliens. I've been abducted multiple times by aliens. Most aliens believe in God, by the way. So you can believe in God and be a Christian and tithe.
Peter, while you were abducted, did you get a chance to talk theology with the aliens? Because I guess we need to cover that the next time we talk. You apparently know most aliens are religious. Rublum says, I kind of want to see the size of the rabbit who dug this hole.
And then go to church and believe in aliens. It's not one or the other. I know that there isn't a single religion out there, including mine, that says aliens exist and they're people and they live on other planets and they've been visiting us. And so because when people believe in aliens, they stop believing in religion, because they're like, you didn't tell us about aliens. But really, just be a little forgiving, okay? Religion...
He's just the all-knowing creator of the universe, okay? How is he supposed to remember that he created countless other species throughout the universe and put that in our holy book? Cut him some slack. Tube Man says, so is Peter gonna pilot the Turn A Gundam and fight the moon race? I don't know Gundam things. I don't know Gundam stuff.
Religions have their role in teaching us morality, but just because they got one thing wrong doesn't mean everything they say is wrong, So long story short, aliens are real. Alien disclosure is happening. What I'm saying may sound far-fetched to some, but the reality is next month in June, or I guess this is going to be released in June, maybe June 1st. But June, which is June is now. When you're watching this, it'll be June. This month, Congress is going to release everything they know about UFOs. Sorry. The military, the government's going to release everything they know about UFOs and tell it to Congress. A lot of that's information can get out, so...
Mike Mack says, Peter's a Scientologist, confirmed. Overthought says, yes, but what intergalactic head of the church is the true leader? Spider Space Pope from South Park or the Alligator Pope from Futurama? Cotton Candy 903 says the rabbit must be heat and pressure proof because it's dug straight through the center of the earth. Von Tuck says the Bronze Age collapse. The Dark Ages, the founding of 8chan, title of some books in the future about bad times, probably.
We are in an Excel.
I really think that... No, I shouldn't opine about stuff like that. No one knows. Oh, okay, I will, but I'll do it with the caveat knowing that, no one can predict the future and the way that future generations, if humans continue to exist, I hope we do, there's no way of knowing what perspective they're going to look back and view us from. There's just no way. So, what's the point? But I would imagine this era is probably going to be known as the misinformation era. The time when humans gained access to more information than ever before, but we didn't yet understand how to parse the information and make accurate assertions as to the veracity of the various claims being thrown at us constantly. I don't know what the solution is, but hopefully the people in the future will have some sort of answer. If you do and you're watching this from the future, because obviously all my streams got put in a time capsule and sent to Venus at some point in the future. Hi, how are you? How's your space pills today? I hope they tasted delicious, and I'm sorry for people like Peter. Are his great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren okay? I hope they have better education and aren't in a gun cult.
Accelerated course towards disclosure of aliens, and it's going to be very gentle and very subtle, but eventually we're going to find out that aliens live among us, aliens have been helping us and harming us and abducting us and doing good stuff and bad stuff, and there's all a big experiment going on. I'm getting into all the alien stuff in my show, Peter Sky High Politics, where I explain politics from a really high perspective, like exopolitics, which is the politics plus aliens is exopolitics. There's very complicated stuff going on here, guys.
I also would have accepted xenopolitics. Thank you, Peter.
It's not that simple. It's actually incredibly complex. That's why I've created my Peter Sky High Politics, where I'm going to talk about how aliens have been impacting politics over hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yes, please, Peter. Give me some of that sweet, sweet alien conspiracy action.
And it's fascinating, and that'll give you the sky high perspective on what's going on there. But for this update, just know that I've gotten some stuff wrong, but the main stuff that I've been saying is correct. Trump is winning. He'll be back this year. He'll be president again very soon. He controls the most powerful part of the U.S. military. Good aliens are working with him. I've been right about all these things, confirmed by Majestic 12. And if you want to learn more about Majestic 12, in the link in the description below, you can link to their Telegram. And if you've gotten this far in this video, I just want to point out that the way that Telegram works is that you can have a handle which is your page where you post stuff. And then in the comment section, for some reason, people have a different handle. So Majestic 12's handle is ISBEES, which is Immortal Soul Biological Entity. And they have a Trump winking profile picture.
Well, that's terrible branding. Pyromancer says, Peter admitting he was wrong just makes him more credible, obviously.
But when I show these,
I do want to put the caveat. It does make you... admitting that you were wrong in the past, because everyone gets things wrong, does make you more credible in the sense that you're trustworthy. I trust that you will go back and admit when you were wrong about something. It, however, does not make you accurate in your claims. Because if you keep having to do that, it just means you're wrong a lot. But it's good to be honest about your mistakes, regardless.
Images of... Majestic 12 said that, Majestic 12 said this, and it shows a Trump winking with the name ISBEES on it. You're like, what? That's
typists are human, and someone says, what's a typist? A person who types things. I wonder if this person is a boomer, whoever's running that account, because most people don't use the word typists anymore. It's kind of an old way of talking about sort of back in the day when you used to have to take notes on a typewriter. People who ran typewriters for people, and sometimes if you were like an executive assistant or whatever, and you had to like take a letter or whatever, you would be called a typist. But normally that's not the nomenclature we use these days, so I wonder if the person running that account's older. Maybe I'm reading too far into the specific wording.
Majestic 12, what? It is. That's Majestic 12. For some reason they chose that. They talk a lot about ISBs, which are immortal, spiritual, biological entities, which is what we are. So, long story short, these are...
Would I be interested in doing a vid on Operation Underground Railroad? It's a QAnon-adjacent anti-trafficking organization that engaged in all sorts of shady and incompetent stuff and has close ties to the Trump administration. Sure.
Authentic posts by organization of aliens that are helping us save the world, and they are located on the moon. I know, sounds crazy. Most people won't believe me. That's okay. I'm used to being ahead of the world in many ways when it comes to the truth. I'm always crazy, and then the world catches up, and they're like, oh.
Peter, what have you been right about so far? What is the world caught up with you on? Please enlighten me in your ways, Peter.
Oh, Peter wasn't that crazy. He was just ahead of his times. So, thank you, Majestic 12. Thank you for watching, and I hope this cheers you up and lets you guys know what's really going on. And I'm looking forward to posting a lot of Peter Sky High politics videos where I'm going to show you what's really going on and how aliens have been interacting with politics. Because aliens have been all over politics. Politics is more about aliens than it really is even humans.
Would that be okay if that were the case, Peter? Because I don't think it would be. It's also not the case, though, so it's fine.
You really find out how much interaction is going on. Anyway, I'll get into that in Peter Sky High Politics. Check out in the description below. I have a CBD company that I'm affiliated with. Amazing CBD products. Their CBD oil I highly recommend, and their coffee. I've used both. I just love them. I'm allowed to call them supplements, even though they're more than supplements, but...
Peter, when you do that, you're breaking the rules. You're breaking the law, but you're also breaking the rules of the MLM. If I or anyone else reported you to them, they will fire you. Fire implies you're an employee. They will stop you from being an affiliate. Stop it. Lampshading saying that by saying, I'm not supposed to say this, but I'm gonna say this, doesn't mean you didn't say that. Again, this child mentality of if I lampshade it, then I can't get in trouble. Rublum says, Hannah, I don't want what Peter's smoking anymore. Good call.
Anyway, amazing supplements. I absolutely love them, and I recommend you check out those supplements. I appreciate it. You guys are patriots. Thank you for donating. Thank you for watching.
Jesus Christ. Peter. He's doing a live AMA on Sunday.
Hey everyone, I'm doing an AMA Sunday.
Oh, his monitor's back in this video.
At 11 a.m. Join me and we can talk about politics, God, religion, aliens, whatever you want. I'd like to open up. I'll be an open book and you can ask me anything you want. Alright, thank you and join me there.
H. Baird says, fun fact, there's a group of senior citizens, advisors to the government, they're called the Jasons, and they don't do anything UFO related. It may be the genesis of Majestic 12. Interesting. Am I going to join the AMA? Probably not. It's at 11 a.m. I don't want to talk to Peter in the morning. Alright, so that's Peter. Still delusional. Very sad. So Marcell got banned off of YouTube. He does, in fact, have a backup channel, but it only has 6 subscribers, and his videos aren't doing very well. He also has a Rumble account. So let's take a look, I guess, at his goodbye video to YouTube.
Hello everybody, how are you doing? This is just doing a video log of my Marcell YouTube channel. The reason I am doing this is because they are starting to strike me for putting out true content.
No, they're striking you for using racial slurs and putting out misinformation about medical stuff. Daddy Suman with 20 bits says, AMA, ask Daddy anything. And then TubeMan says, are the Majestic 12 just the Patriots from Metal Gear? I haven't played Metal Gear, so I don't know.
Regarding experts and just the war crimes that are happening right now with COVID. I've had my channel for 12 years and there are hundreds of videos.
I'm honestly shocked he held that channel for that long. If anyone actually watched his videos outside of a lol cow context, his channel would have been deleted so long ago. He uses the N-word so much.
And I'm just basically cataloging just to show that we have it.
But Marcell, I thought you were a judge or a chief justice or an emperor. Can't you simply sue YouTube?
Because it's probably people have too much faith in things they shouldn't. I just showed experts and doctors just saying that COVID is BS basically. So these are our videos. I have hard copies of all of these. So this is basically an inventory as well. If you're watching this down the road on our website or anything like that, you can definitely order any of these videos and we will have them for membership. As well as possibly the public.
I'm gonna order a YouTube video like a crazy person.
So, and then there are also other videos available that are not on here that we did in the past and took down. Go. So this one they blocked the copyright claim. Admittedly, there were songs in there, so that one was valid. But they're blocking the ones that are not copyright infringement, where I just violate their community standards by showing too much proof. Alan Jones Pandemic here, this one, they removed, and again...
Because you're lying about COVID. Marcell videos are more bleep than video, a lot of them.
And this is government officials in Australia saying COVID's all BS. And you notice they only allowed it to get 10 views before they yanked that one. And that was November 9th, 2020. So I'm just, they're striking me, I can't even post right now. So that's why I'm just going ahead and video evidencing all the videos we have up. And again, been around for 12 years. Have thousands of views on some. And a lot of my videos are still up. But obviously, as time goes, I anticipate that will change.
What happened to Stefan Molyneux? He's been banned from basically everything.
Looks like I'm going to have to go a little quick because this camera does not have a lot of juice in it. Yeah, unfortunately I'm probably not going to get through all of this, but you guys can see Founding Your Own Society, very important video.
You're just gonna scroll through this like a weirdo and not talk?
This does get taken down. This is why. I will try and create new channels and re-upload if that happens, but I don't know how successful that will be. And we will show a variety of these on our website, but we do have to pay for that. Although we're going to have a lot of funding right away, so within that shouldn't be a problem. This was our International Cop Watch conference that we got to go to and participate as an expert speaker. Anti-CFS march that we were in with North End Action Group. Package free on peacemakersociety.org were written by people with 20 years experience, Maker Society law.
All right, Marcell's being boring again. He's re-uploading a lot of his old bullshit. Like he's re-uploading these ads again. He has his MO is that he'll hire people from Fiverr, hold on. Daddy Sume says, Hannah, did you hear they announced the DLC for my favorite game? We're finally getting a Beastmen update. It only took 5 years. The Brass Bull is coming. I know this means nothing to you, but seriously, I think you should check out the game. It's great. Total War Warhammer is amazing, everyone. I doubt I'm going to try it. Anyway, so he hires people on Fiverr, and then he gives them a script, and then they read it, and he thinks this constitutes an ad that's appealing to people. It's not.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm 9 years old. I have the coolest thing to tell you. Young people are about to run the world the right way. Old people have been hurting the planet for too long.
I feel bad for this kid. Do you think this kid's parents put him on, this was from years ago, so this kid's older than this now. Do you think his parents put him on Fiverr and they're like, look, we're going to put you in a little suit and people are going to pay us money to have you say things at the camera, okay?
I love freedom and rights for all, and that's why kids are taking over. We are the future, so let's fix the world. It's time for change. Here's what we must do together. We need to learn to become competent heirs by learning our rights. This is how anyone can help run the world. We need to get corporations pretending to be governments out of the way with natural law. Unregistered, unincorporated rights are not taught in schools, most of which are corporations. This is why I'm teaching you now. We have a big job to do. Time to save the planet and heal the world. Please visit and join Peacemaker Society now. www.peacemakersociety.org. You may not know it, but birth certificates turn kids into corporations.
No, they don't. Mike Mack says, blink, boy, blink. I'm surprised that the kid's parents or whoever approved this script. Because on Fiverr, and again, I haven't done Fiverr in a long time, but usually there's sort of a back and forth. Like, they'll be like, all right, what service do you want? And for something like this, they'll be like, all right, give me X amount of dollars, and depending on the length of your script, let me look at your script, and you send them the script, and then look it over, and you'll make any revisions with them, and then they'll film it. So this kid's parents read this absolutely batshit script, and they were like, yes, child, read this into the camera, please.
They steal my birthrights and let people buy and sell me as a corporation. This was proven.
Just like your parents buy and sell your time by forcing you to stand in front of a camera and read scripts from crazy people like Marcell for money.
In the 1985 Canadian Ownership Control and Determination Act. That's not okay. The solution is to join Peacemaker Society now.
Jeff! Thank you for the raid. Welcome, raiders. Today we're doing Cult Watch, meaning we're looking at all sorts of weird cults across the internet. So it's good stuff. It'll be interesting. If you like Wingnut Roundup, you're definitely gonna like this. So welcome. Everyone, make sure you go check out Jeff Holliday's channel, Real Jeff Holiday, here on Twitch. Could someone link to Jeff's channel? Again, thank you, Jeff. I hope you had a good stream. Jade Skywalker 85, thanks for subscribing for 10 months, says hi, Hannah. And Mike Mack says, Marcell using corporations to say corporations are bad.
www.peacemakersociety.org.
Urban Sprint, thanks for posting Jeff's channel.
We're here to recruit you. See you soon.
Hello, kitty. Yeah, Marcell's nuts. Alright, let's see what the Love Has Won cult is up to. So for raiders who may not be familiar with Love Has Won, Love Has Won is a cult where they got together and this woman called herself Mother God, basically ruled them in this house. She was the cult leader. She would get drunk and high constantly. And then she died. And the cult mummified her and wrapped her in Christmas lights. And I believe 11 members of the cult have been charged with the desecration of a corpse, or something along those lines. They did post bail, though, to my knowledge, and some of the cult members are now still going online and talking about their cult. So let's see what they're up to. This poster is of Mother God. This was Mother God early on, though. Mother God hit a brick wall at some point, because it turns out doing tons of drugs and drinking all the time ages you like you wouldn't believe. So if you look at, I'm trying to see what's a relatively recent Mother God thing from before she died. 4 years ago is even a bit, hello. Okay, here's 8 months ago. Let me see if we can find her. Hi, kitty. She might show up in here somewhere, because she was in the thumbnail. Wow, they put her in the thumbnail, and she's not even in the video. Well, here's a photo. You can kind of see this. She looks not well. She looks very not well. But this is what she looked like when the cult first started. She aged about 30 years in the span of about 5.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to 5D Full Disclosure. We are the First Contact Ground Crew team. I'm Buddha.
Is that a little loud? Sorry.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. It's our first live stream.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we are in the middle of planetary ascension, and it's time to get your ducks in a row. Time to get in action. Love in action.
GG Feezy, thanks for following. And
Who's coming with me?
Laluka07, thanks for following.
Who's coming? Let's go.
Chaotic Kitten, thanks for subscribing for 4 months, says Uwu Hannah.
What's up, Mike? Mike?
Igor, hello.
You're sitting on my headphone, kitty. Thank you.
Welcome to the grandest movie in all of creation. The Ascension of Planet Earth equals heart.
Yay. Well, I missed everybody this morning. Nice setting. Yeah, we got the table.
Oh god, these guys are awkward. These aren't the spicy people. Where are the spicy people? Bring back spicy cult members. These ladies clap back at chat constantly.
Tuesday.
Kitty, if you keep bumping the mic stand, it's gonna be annoying. Come here. You gonna start the stream? You're on camera. That's not very professional for a couple of people who mummified someone in the last year.
One person. Probably.
Do they know they're live?
Yay. A long weekend. It's about the people that have died for this country to be free from what? Unfortunately. But I know that Mom always has a deep respect for those in service to the country or military service across the planet, because it's not an easy...
Military service across the planet. Mother God has respect for them all, especially ISIS. What was that thing where it was like, God bless the troops, both sides, or something like that? I don't remember.
Role to fulfill. It's, of course, extremely
Yeah,
violent
these two were on Dr. Phil.
and traumatizing, and there's only strong souls that can really handle those contracts of being put in the literal front lines of what's happening. And of course that we don't know how many of them have had to do missions where they've had to save children, and they've had to do all of these things that we don't even know about right now, and things that they can't share. So we're extremely grateful for every single person that's put their life on the line for not only this country, but also the biggest mission.
No, these people are not QAnoners. We did QAnon earlier. These are people from the Love Has Won cult. They believe that this woman who is pictured behind them doing sort of this pose with the butterflies around her, they believe that she is Mother God, and that she is the God of the universe and has been reincarnated many times as Jesus and other religious figures, and she died recently, and they mummified her. And they got in trouble for that, because you're not supposed to mummify bodies in your house.
on planet Earth. I cannot bypass that. Shit's funny.
Anyone whose YouTube name is God Bless Dr. Phil is
From 1200.
I'm scared.
I remember the 1200s.
God bless Dr. Phil.
It's interesting, too. They all have trolls in their chat, which you can see here. Say, God bless Dr. Phil is saying, cult. You are in a cult. Cult. I find that behavior interesting. I almost find that behavior as interesting as the cult members. Because, well, I look at this stuff, and I think we can have a good time looking at this stuff, both for education and entertainment purposes. It's almost a weird... I'm not going to use the term anthropology, because I am not qualified for that. It's just a weird character study in very strange people who believe strange things and trying to get to the bottom of why they believe them, and what can we learn about ourselves from the way that they interact with these strange beliefs. But I don't understand people who go into their chat and bother them. Never bother any of the people that we cover on this show, obviously. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Why go to them and be like, you're in a cult, you're in a cult, you're in a cult? They are in a cult, but this is not going to convince them. If this is how you got people out of a cult, there would be no cults. Chaotic Kitten says, going for a puff. Be right back. Love your content. Well, I hope it's a nice puff.
Oh no.
God did not bless Dr. Phil. And Dr. Phil did not bless God. So there was no equal energy exchange. Yeah, well, Rob did send us some great apparel options yesterday. Unfortunately, Mom ascended, so we can't get her a cult leader t-shirt. But...
What they mean is, unfortunately, our god died, so we can't buy her a cult leader shirt. Fun.
There's some cute bags and t-shirts that say, ask me about my cult, so...
We're
you never know,
interested
we're
in
gonna...
those.
Yeah, we're interested.
Everyone knows you should use reverse psychology and say they aren't in a cult. Yep, cult deprogrammers call that the old Bugs Bunny routine.
Debating.
I just wear that shirt on the stream every day.
Yeah, definitely, that would be great. Well, I did want to, I know you have some astrology things to share, but I wanted to talk about like what's being put out there is in terms of disclosure quickly, because nobody else is going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. And I wanted to bring up to everybody the topic that I started researching once I found out that it even existed was the indigenous schools up in Canada.
About that yesterday.
I bet everybody's read about it now. But of course, we didn't know back then. We don't learn this stuff in history class, so, and I wish we did because...
Jalen Jean says, real talk though, if you consent to being mummified before death, are there morticians that'll do that? Or is that just a no-no regardless of who does it? I have no idea the legality of consensual mummification after death in any jurisdiction. No idea. Maybe ask a mortician. She has a YouTube channel. She might... At the very least, she would know where to look for that information. So, Pyromancer says, everyone knows you should use... Oh, already read that one. My B. Let's skip ahead.
Minnesota and resign. Like, it's really... That's just the way it is. And... it's totally fine. Like, I don't know why I read things that it's like, we have to be together. Like, how many times for the last 3 years did we say we're not a cult? So you can have different groups of people spreading the same freaking message, which was God was here, she descended, God's a woman, and love wins.
Boom, baby.
Yeah. Everybody's saying the same thing, sharing the same stories, talking about the same principles and wisdoms from...
I gotta give kudos to the guy behind the camera that said boom baby, like them claiming that their cult leader is God was like a checkmate. Checkmate, atheists. We said our cult leader was God. Rebuff that. Rebuff? Rebut. That's the word. Mike Max, if you're, God can die and can't come back, that's a weak-ass God.
Her, you don't have to all be together in one location to share the same message. She never wanted that.
In fact, it's worldwide.
Right. So it's like, it's like everyone remembers last year we had 2 teams. We had a team that went to Washington, D.C. We've been to Florida, California.
Cults can exist in multiple locations. Scientology's a thing. They have centers all over the world.
Colorado, obviously. So it's like Oregon, like all of these different places where Mom has set up energy. And it's like everybody thinks that we have to all be like sucking each other's tits or something and all... be in one spot and like huddle together and oh my god, Mom's not here. Oh my god, Mom's not here. We have to sit around and hold each other because she's gone. And it's no.
It's just, Mom always said that's just the fake idea of unity. Everybody's free to gather with whom they would like to, and everyone's free to gather in the way that they would like to.
Daddy Sume says, my god is already dead. Ave Imperator, Ave Imperium. This is actually an interesting scenario in that it's a cult. I don't want to say it's rudderless, because I would imagine in the sort of power vacuum, I would imagine someone has stepped up and taken a leadership role, probably Father God. Father God was the boyfriend of Mother God, who seemed shady and seemed like he was in this knowing maybe she was gonna disappear soon. I'm not accusing him of anything, far from it. She died because she was addicted to drugs and alcohol. But I think he saw an opportunity to take control of a group of vulnerable people, particularly with some vulnerable young women, and I think he's doing that. But other than that, seeing the beliefs of this cult evolve the further we get away from the death of Mother God is going to be interesting. Mike Max says, if love is one, why is there still hate? Deep question.
Yeah, like Nancy said, the point is not the beings, it's the message. So everybody across the planet eventually everyone will start gathering in different groups in different areas. And ultimately that creates unity on the planet. We don't have to, like Hope said, we don't have to like huddle together in one kumbaya circle in order to spread the same message. Yeah, Booby's still here. She's in Memphis.
Yeah, like what? Does nobody talk about that Bobby is in Memphis?
Holding down the Tennessee fractal. What is the deal with the guy calling himself Father God? Is he online downing love as one in calling October stays in a menacing manner? Hopefully he stays safe. He seems pretty unstable. Well, he's going through his own journey. And that's where the people...
I assume she's maybe talking about someone from this. This is a different channel called, Rising Above Love Has Won. I believe this is people who have escaped the cult or something. We're an educational group reporting news and events that happen in the group Love Has Won using short clips from the videos they upload or from other members' sources. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and support all individuals impacted by the group Love Has Won and keep people up to date on what the group is doing if you don't have time to watch 4+ hours of video they put out every day. I assume this is partially family members and stuff of the group that are combing through this so they can keep tabs on their loved ones. It's pretty sad. Don't forget, Hannah, you still need to cover Time Cube. Oh, God, I do have to cover Time Cube. Cotton Candy says, I left to grab dinner and come back to this. And then Kirthan, thank you for gifting a sub.
What is Love Has Won? Well, they are a group of people who worship a woman named Amy Carlson, their god in a physical vessel. They say she loves unconditionally and only speaks 100% truth. Her followers call her Mother God and Mama Jesus, among other titles, as she claims to have been Jesus, Joan of Arc, Marilyn Monroe, and many other famous people in her past lives. They also worship her partner, Jason Castillo, who they refer to as Father God or Lucifer. Their teachings say that any who do not worship Amy as God will be recycled to the galactic sun. And
honestly, that sounds great. I'll do that.
Claim that Amy will soon ascend by...
Recycle me, Mommy God.
Being picked up by a starship or going through a portal in the ocean.
Yikes, that's very Heaven's Gatey. Oops, didn't mean to do that.
Claim that Amy will soon ascend by being picked up by a starship or going through a portal in the ocean.
Have you watched the Silent
Their
Hill
followers
movie?
preach that all Amy and Jason do is love, so all should follow them happily. But here are just a few clips showing what their gods are really like, and how they treat their followers once they are past the honeymoon phase. Warning, viewers may find this material offensive.
I commanded all my atoms to come home back into the light. In order for them to come home back into the light, they had to be fucking whores. Holy fucking shit!
Is this gonna pick up Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto in the background, and DMC Amy? Just God, getting high, hanging out on the porch, listening to Styx's most controversial album. That's a God I can get behind.
You know, I'm like, 8 billion
For the record, I stan Mr. Roboto. I like that album.
egos? Yeah, I got this dude. I got him, Robin.
Oh yeah, Robin refers to Robin Williams, who she talks to often. Shortly after Robin Williams died, she started having visions of Robin Williams' ghost, and she thinks Robin Williams works with her as part of her team. His ghost.
Woo! Fucking ego program mind. You're fucking done. Cabal over! Spiritual ego horde done! If you're not connected to me, you're out. Thank you for your service. Connected, done. If you're not, well, if you're not connected in, you're fucking done.
She's listening to the E.T. theme song in the background? She's just listening to the instrumental theme to E.T.? What the fuck? That's the craziest thing that's happened in this clip. And she's claiming to be God. Who just sits and listens to the E.T. theme song? Look, I like John Williams. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, you know what slaps? Fucking E.T. soundtrack. This woman is on a whole lot of something. She sure is.
You all bitches.
No go home. No ET go home for you, bitch whores.
Fucking battle me.
Okay, it's I can battle her. I can battle a mummy. I'm like 90% sure I could win in a fight against a dry, salty corpse.
My own light workers, battle me! Serving love! And bringing in a new paradigm, you fucking dick whores! You're about to get it.
This cult is basically children trying to piece their strict and alcoholic parent and blame themselves for everything, trying to piece their strict and alcoholic mother. I'm not sure what word you're trying to say there. Daddy Sume says, okay, I feel attacked. I listened to the Imperial March and Jurassic Park themes. It's fine. You can do that.
And every one of you that went against me, you're going to get it. Thank you. My vision was chicken.
Oh yeah, I think this is after she wanted chicken parmesan and they brought her meatballs instead for some reason. Maybe they, oh please, my bad. There we go, yeah. Pleasing your alcoholic parent, yeah. She wanted chicken parmesan and they brought her meatballs and she's pissed off.
Chicken parmesan. So the fucking atoms turn around on me and get me meatballs.
I agree. I think meatballs are superior to chicken parmesan too, but I'm not God, so I guess I'm wrong.
I didn't say meatballs.
I didn't say meatballs. I said it was chicken. That was chicken parmesan. Bring me chicken, okay? I don't... I'm Mother God, okay? If I say I want chicken, you're gonna give me chicken. I'll make a chicken. Boom, chicken. No meatball. You're gonna give me a... What's chicken made out of? I need some chicken. Yeah, she's drunk a lot.
I love meatballs. But I didn't fucking say that!
I just want your meatballs. Why you gotta give me your meatballs? Hydrate.
Chicken Parmesan! I get fucked up every fucking moment by...
I believe that you are fucked up every fucking moment. I believe that. Like Max says, if she goes by God, why didn't she heal her cancer and create her own food, right? She should be like, oh, you brought me meatballs. I'll rearrange the atoms in these meatballs and turn it into Parmesan. Chicken Parmesan. But I guess that's just out of her abilities? I don't know.
You fucking motherfucking whores. My atoms. I'm like, I just need a tequila. Like, it takes...
I'm curious, because we often think about cult leaders as being incredibly charismatic, which can be the case. But she's so not. She's not I mean, maybe initially, in fairness. She probably is very nice at first, and you don't necessarily see this part of her. I'll pull up the subtitles. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see them. But how does this person continue to run a cult, considering how dysfunctional she was, to the extent that even after her death, they go ahead and continue her work? Very strange. Vontuk says, how does God ranting about meatballs not snap you out of the cult? I can think of nothing less spiritual. You haven't had good enough meatballs, then.
Like 5 rounds of whores to get me a tequila. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You know what? You can take your half-ass God and shove it up your fucking ass! I'm gonna take another tequila shot? I'll fucking do that shit.
Daylight Reckoning says, I'm listening to this in the background while I drive podcast style. Hannah's drunk Mother God voice made me have to pull over from laughter. Is sometimes just... Oh, God. Is someone put on the E.T. soundtrack? I'm feeling a little queasy. Ugh. Where's my chicken? I need chicken, okay? I need chicken and I need mushrooms. Why don't people believe I'm God? Mike Max says, have you seen Human History? We're easy to manipulate. Like Loki said, we all kneel.
Bitch! Where's my tequila shot?
She definitely needs more tequila. This is Father God threatening to make a team member join John. Oh, sorry. Threatening to make a team member, John, a paraplegic.
Well, of course, never you. Why would you ever be afraid of me?
I don't know, Pops.
I don't know either. Trust me, I have no idea. I have no idea. Because what we settled was settled. And that was for the 24 days that you put Mother through. If I thought or felt for another day that you did that to her, consciously, you would already be gone.
Old enough to know better now. Thanks for gifting us up.
And you still do not want to acknowledge I have an ankle bone waiting for you in your right temple. Do you want it? No. Get the fuck over it. Because I got one waiting for the left too. And it's going to take half your body up. You're going to be a paraplegic. You're only going to have the right usage of your leg and arm if you push me on this. I'm telling you because I'm Father and I love you. And I will always tell you what I'm about to do. That's how bad I am. Get it?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Daylight Reckoning. I'll stop.
Love you.
Get them.
Okay.
Mother's dying. But you believe me before you fucking believe me now. You're the only one that can do it, Valerian. The only one that can fucking hear me. Because you're a father.
Ah, interesting. Love bombing. Okay. So this is a tactic that happens both in abusive relationships and in cults. They're very similar dynamics in some ways. So he'll break him down by screaming at him, threatening him, yelling at him, saying, I'm gonna break your legs, I'm gonna make you paraplegic, I'm gonna, whatever. And then immediately face turn and say, you're the only one I can trust. You're the only one that really understands me. I love you. I'm Father God, etc., etc. It's a way of ingratiating yourself into them because they feel so bad that no one likes to be yelled at, no one likes to be insulted or threatened or anything, and you're incredibly desperate to get out of that situation, and all of a sudden that person who's been threatening you, they're doing the opposite. They switch it around, and they're like, no, I love you, though, you're wonderful, and they, shower you with praise. And it's a little bit like what's the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing? The Dennis system, foster dependence. It's like that. They're fostering emotional dependence on the approval of the figureheads of the cult, like Father God, Mother God, etc. Mike Max says, this reminds me of Michael and God relationship in Supernatural, where Michael calls himself the god of sin for obey God even after God, his father, betrays him. The good son. Your messages are hard to read sometimes, I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yikes. That's, bad. Amy, Mother God, admits it's all a lie, that she is God. This is from a live stream from before her death. As you can tell from the lack of her being mummified. Is she even in frame yet? Hold on.
Every day she would, be like, he's not coming. He's not going to make it. Something's going to stop him from getting back to me. He's not Father. He's not, real. I'm not going to send. I'm not going to...
You need to slow down. At least just proofread before you hit send. It'll save you bits.
This whole mission is fake. I'm not God. I'm crazy. I made everything up.
Oh, God. So she's admitting that, on her deathbed, Mother God admitted it was bullshit?
Would, be like, he's not coming. He's not going to make it. Something's going to stop him from getting back to me. He's not Father. He's not, real. I'm not going to send. I'm not going to... This whole mission is fake. I'm not God. I'm crazy. I made everything up. This isn't real. It's just all bullshit. And I was like, everything you say is real. Everything you're doing, I'm like, everybody's gonna know what you did. And
oh my God. So, on her deathbed, the cult leader is even like, no, I'm lying to you. Go home. This is bullshit. I'm crazy. And they're like, no, you're... Wow, that's some Life of Brian shit. That's horrifying.
my father is going to come back. And every day we just had to reassure her. I had to tell him, Father will be back. Father will be here. And she's like, every day, you gave me, that strength to keep going every single day through it. And after the house burned down.
Wow. Very scary.
Go out. She said she was going to be a brave God and embrace going to a restaurant. So she was excited. Obviously, if you guys saw the photos, and we'll show you them when we go through the voice notes, that mom got all ready and she went out to a restaurant for just some drinks. She didn't eat there. We didn't know that.
Wait a minute. Mother God went and drank on an empty stomach? I'm shocked. She's normally so straight-laced. Does the Trump cult count as a cult? I consider QAnon a cult. The Trump thing, I don't know. In some ways, you could probably argue it, but I'm going to save that stuff for Chud Watch. Jade Skywalker says, I want to watch more, but I am fading. Must go to sleep now. Love y'all. Have a good sleep.
I'm laughing at Ricky's comment about cinnamon buns for Robin. Anyways, so she did get to go out and have fun, which was awesome. And then later on, a few hours later, not really sure how this transpired, but a being needed a ride to his boat or something, and Father took him and Mom was left alone for probably 2 hours, 3 hours. And, Father and Mom were going back and forth. You'll see on the voice notes about the time. It doesn't really matter, 2 hours, 3 hours. Either way, it's unacceptable that Mom was left alone at all. And it's because Father right now is the only one in the field with Mom. Tim and Ricky, of course, have to be quarantined, and Larry was asked to not be in the field for some moments. So,
when does Mother God call?
tactics to somebody. It sucked. It was very hard.
Okay.
Ah, here she is.
What? Like, nobody...
Hello?
I drank 2 Mai Tais.
Oh, she is fucking... If you thought she was drunk earlier, oh my goodness.
Two.
Oh, look at the look she's even giving. It's like she knows. The girl on the right is like, oh god, we answered the phone when she called and she is just out of her mind drunk. That is a look of recognition. That is not a look of someone who is deluded. This is the look of someone who's like, oh god, she's trashed again and she's calling into our live stream. Interesting. Do you think, See, I was on the page of them being true believers, but just this second, and I know I'm basing this on very little evidence, I'm just speculating. I wonder if at this point, because these two, as far as I know, don't have real jobs, they just do these live streams and get donations and stuff from other people who follow the cult. At this point, I wonder if these two, who tend to be the people who do the live streams, do they know? And they're just like, well, she's gone now. Someone has to reap the benefits of this cult she's cultivated.
Ooh, 2 Mai Tais. I'm like, oh, these are
They're even whispering to each other. I can't understand what they're saying, but...
serious. These fuckers grabbed my ass like nobody's business. Mai Tai. Mai Tai coming straight up my eye. I'm like, what the hell? I drank 2. I was gone. My
wow, she sounds a lot like my mom when she's drunk.
brain melted, and I'm like, yeah. What? What was I drinking? Mai Tai. Mai Tai? Oh, shit. I look at St. Germain, he's like...
This is bringing back some bad shit. Like being the kid of someone, and then this is a little akin to them being, her kid, having to sort of nod along to the drunken nonsense. Ooh, uncomfortable. Mike Mack says, does this count as Stockholm Syndrome? No idea.
I can't help you right now. I'm like, fuck off, bitch. Robin? Robin's like, what are you drinking Mai Tais? I'm like, yeah. He's like, this is how you drink it. Like a coffee. I'm like, okay. So you take the straw.
Hey, kitty.
You drink the Mai Tai. The coffee part, whatever's. Robin told me. And then my ass was like, gone.
Does she go on for 5 more
But
minutes?
in my essence, I serve love completely. I don't care. I fucking serve love! Via climbing. That's exactly what I wanted. To sit in a pool of pee. My own pee. Wow. Humanity. What have you done? Fuck you. I can't believe. Jesus. Robin, please. Viola. Come on.
Oh my god. I can't believe this shit.
Wow, that was awful, and I hated it. John Lee 3000 says, holy crap, y'all, I made it. Just over 1,100 miles in 17 hours and change. You've been the best company for these past few hours I could have asked for. Thanks for being awesome, and may God have mercy on those poor souls. I'll try to catch another stream soon, but now I'm gonna crash super hard. If you want to hear some mid-tier electronic pop punk that might have been cool in the 2000s, check out my YouTube channel. Coolio. Glad you got home safe. Enjoy a well-needed rest. Chaotic Kitten says, sounds like she's having a breakdown. Yeah, she probably was. I mean, yeah. And then there was a bunny cleanse. Oh, that is a cute bun. Let's see if there's maybe one more of these, preferably one where she's not absolutely trashed, but I don't know. I don't know how possible that is. Here's a rant from Hawaii when they lived there. Cult video maybe to watch later. Okay. I'll at the very least save it, because we're coming kind of near the end, but I'll save it in my cult playlist. Thank you.
Take me down tonight.
This is terrible.
You are in fucking treason on this planet. This is my planet. Your step, I don't know.
She's always drunk, that's her secret.
My family.
Yeah, feels like it.
Who birthed me into this fucking reality of illusion. Step forward. You are in fucking treason for all of humanity. And if you don't,
80 of Blue, thanks for subscribing for 6 months. And kicking off the hype train.
Thank you, God. Because I am God. Get it? I attempted to reach out to you, to tell you who I was. You fucking denied me! Every fucking time! He's the one that stood up for me. As you fucking whores, treason around me, lying. Oh my. And, oh.
Yikes. We'll look more into this cult another time. But yeah, what a train wreck. 49% to level 1 on the hype train. Citosaurus says, this lady's insane. Did you see the evolution bitch clip? I don't think I did. I'll have to watch it another time. What's this one? Someone sent this. Alright, let's do a CC video. I'd consider modern flat earth movements to be a bit of a cult. Maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, but I really wanted to cover this video today, and it's my stream, so I get to make the call. Let's check it out. 3 minutes left on the hype train. Bumble Homestead says, I mean, I guess God being drunk and drunk angry person makes sense for the reality we find ourselves in. True. Chaotic Kitten with 100 bits, and Mike Max says, so why is her cult called Love is One when she's not lovely at all? Marketing? Old enough to know better now. Thanks for gifting a sub.
Weather Center.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. CC.
Ooh, Chaotic Kitten just earned the 1K bits badge. Nice.
Here, Chris from New York, Westchester County. It's 6/4/21. Don't hear much about the deaths anymore, right? When do they actually? What was the specific date that they cut that out? That's what I would really.
You can look up the deaths. I don't watch network news, so I don't know what they're reporting necessarily, but COVID deaths have gone down a lot since people started getting vaccinated because case numbers have gone down. So the total deaths are almost 600,000, which is still an absolute tragedy that was preventable. But now our 7-day average is down to 414, which, while still, again, every single one of those deaths is a tragedy, it's a manageable number. It's not up here where we were back in January or here where we were in April of last year. I'm sure we're going to have spikes again, but with people being vaccinated, it'll probably be better. It's almost like when you solve a problem, you can stop reporting on the problem.
Like to know, you know, nothing about that anymore. Now it's just pandemonium with riots and car accidents and other statistics that you'll never understand how they could even possibly get to these numbers. And that's the beauty of it.
You don't understand. That doesn't mean statisticians don't understand, CC. Izala 3000, thanks for 100 bits. Completing the first level of the hype train.
That's what I love about the news. It's all bullshit. They can say whatever the fuck they want to say. They can do whatever they want to do. They can cherry pick anything the hell they want to do. It's unbelievable. It really is remarkable how they are people that actually spend their lives watching the news and listening to this complete nonsense. Bullshit.
Cece, you spend your life driving around in your car, filming YouTube videos, and listening to other flat earthers on YouTube, and you have the gall to criticize someone for watching MSNBC? Seems kind of hypocritical. Nick Snort, thanks for 100 bits, and Mike Mack says, it's almost like people are taking the virus seriously and taking the vaccine to the point that the numbers of deaths are lower. No, that can't be it. Bumble Homestead says, why aren't they reporting on polio and smallpox anymore, huh?
Total nonsense. Just like gravity is. Yeah, that's gravity. Gravity, remember?
I'd like to imagine some sort of COVID denier or a anti-vax person who's not a flat earther who just happened across this video, and they're agreeing up until this point, and they're like, yeah, you stick it to him. And then all of a sudden he says, it's all bullshit like gravity. And they go, oh. Oh no.
When you learn gravity in your science class, well, that must explain why the air is here, right? Yeah, of course, it's gravity, it's holding it in.
I mean, it's holding it to the Earth, yes. The atmosphere is just particles. Those particles are attracted to the center of the largest mass around them, which is Earth. So they stick to the Earth or are attracted to it the same as we and everything else on the Earth are.
Oh, that's funny, because when I get...
Kirthan says, Hannah, there can't be gravity because there's no downward bias.
A cylinder and I do a vacuum test, all of a sudden it crushes the cylinder.
Again, CC fundamentally misunderstands what's happening in those experiments. CC, that happens because you've depressurized the inside of a container that is surrounded by pressure. So because there's no pressure on the inside to combat the outside forces win and they crush the thing. That is not analogous to what is happening on Earth when gases are attracted to the Earth to create an atmosphere. I don't understand what he thinks is the relation here, but it just doesn't exist. Mylin, thank you for following. Von Tuck says, I started doing IT at a hospital and during the tour, so we know our way around. The guy said, it was weird how the morgue filled up right before COVID hit and lockdown started. It's almost as if the lockdowns were saving lives or something. Hype train, 24% to level 2 with a minute and a half left.
And it's violent, too. Very violent. If you were to be in a room when something like that
I understand that it's because both are vacuums, but he's misunderstanding the reason that the thing that is turned into a vacuum collapses. It doesn't collapse just because it is a vacuum. It collapses because it is a vacuum surrounded by an atmosphere of pressure. That has nothing to do with whether or not gravity can pull gases to the surface of the Earth, creating an atmosphere, which is what it does.
You'd be dead. You wouldn't survive. There wouldn't be a countdown. 9. You are losing air. 8, 7. No, I'm sorry. It would be instantaneous. So if the gravity can't hold that, how is it holding the air?
But that's not gravity. That's not gravity, Chris. Okay, when you're doing that experiment, and Mythbusters, I think, even did a big version of this experiment where they took an entire tanker truck and turned the tank part into a vacuum chamber, and the same thing happened. Once you turned it into a vacuum, or a sufficient enough vacuum, it doesn't have to be 100%, the outside crushes it. 16 seconds left on the hype train. Rublin with 245-bit says, I imagine people like cause Baja to face palm at terminal velocity. I assume you mean CC, yes. Hype train over. Thanks for level 1, everyone. So, what's happening there is, again, because there is atmosphere on the outside pushing on the vacuum, it crushes it, right? That's not what's happening on Earth with the atmosphere that we have. It's just being pulled to Earth, and then there is also a vacuum once you get far enough away, because at that distance, the gravity effect isn't enough to pull particles to the Earth. Mike Max says, years of scientific research, experiments, and understanding to explain how everything works. Flat earther. That's fake news, you sheeple.
We're in this supposed ball that we live on. Oh, I don't know. And where's the bleeding part of space? Nobody can explain that, right? There's a certain part of space where the professors will tell you the molecules get a little smaller, they kind of dissipate, they break up.
The molecules don't get smaller, the clusters of them become less dense because there are fewer of them per square volume, whatever. Cotton Candy says, we really need better education. I guess we do.
A little bit, and then that's where space begins. No, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. The vacuum...
It's a gradient, CC. As you get further away from the Earth, there gets less and less atmosphere. There's no solid line that's like, here's where the atmosphere ends. It's a gradient.
Of space is what we've been taught. We live in a vacuum in space, okay?
We live on a planet with an atmosphere that is in space, which is a vacuum, yeah?
That's what we live on. That's what they tell you. Well, it's all bullshit, people. Okay, gravity is not from molten lava twisting around and...
Is he confusing gravity with Earth's electromagnetic field? Because I think traditionally, the electromagnetic field of the Earth is explained by the molten core moving and creating an electromagnetic field. But I think he thinks that's the explanation for gravity, which it isn't. Gravity is caused by the mass of the Earth, not molten magma.
Moving around in this magnetic sphere and creating gravity. No, it's nothing like that. It's simple. It's pressure. It's amazing. It's very simple. You see, Flat Earth makes the whole concept very simple. The truth makes the concept simple.
See, this is why I wanted to highlight this video on Cult Watch today, because I did watch this video already. I've seen it. Sorry to spoil the illusion, but sometimes I do see the videos in their entirety before I actually cover them here. Not all the time, though. Not even most of the time. But I thought this would be relevant here, because his explanation for why he thinks Flat Earth is real is so illuminating to the mindset, I think, of a lot of conspiracy theorists, and that is, it's not about how correct it is. It's about its power to simplify reality. Dan Olson, Folding Ideas, has a great little documentary on YouTube called, oh gosh, is it Finding Flat Earth? I always have to look it up because I word it slightly wrong. In Search of Flat Earth, which is an excellent little documentary. And Dan throughout this goes into sort of the psychology of conspiracy theorists, both flat earthers and QAnon people, who often are one and the same, though not always. And a big commonality between different kinds of conspiracy theorists appears to be their inability to cope with the complexity of the modern world. The modern world is crazy. Like, I'll fully admit that, right? The modern world is just bananas. There's so much going on, and no one can understand even a good portion of it in its entirety, right? It's big and complicated, which is why in society we all get our little roles, right? You know, Chris drives a van that's accessible to wheelchairs. Baja is a scientist that specializes in a very specific thing, developmental genetics. There are people out there who are plant biologists. There are people who are doctors. So everyone specializes into like a specific thing that they're good at or are trained to do. That way everything can still function. Like we're all pieces in a watch almost as a society. Because no one can learn, no individual person could learn how to build a computer, for instance. I'm not talking about buying parts somewhere and snapping them all together. Everyone can do that. What I'm saying is you could not mine the raw materials, turn them into metals and plastics and silicon, and then, you know, create the chips and develop the software all on your own. All of us are working separately. Now, that does come with the issue that you often have to rely on experts in their fields because you just are out of your depth on so many things because you specialize in your one thing. But then there are people like Cece, Chris, who are made incredibly uncomfortable by that fact. For some reason, he cannot cope with the fact that the world is too complicated for him as an individual to understand in its entirety. He can't handle that politics and science and sociology have become so complicated, so they deny reality and accept a different model of the universe that is simple. It's black and white. It's easily understandable by one person. It's not that things are complicated and the universe is a crazy place that we'll never fully understand, and we're flying through the solar system, which is flying through the Milky Way galaxy, which is flying through the universe at unfathomable speeds. No, it's just we are on a flat plane, and there's a God, and God did stuff, and that's it. That's all there is to know about the universe. It's simple. It's wrong, but it's simple. And that seems to be the goal of so many of these people. Chaotic Kitten says, by the way, the kitten that is in my profile picture is named Sidra. She lives in a feral cat colony in British Columbia, Canada. She's queen of the stink eye. Very adorable.
There's no geometry to figure out any planets or how far anything is and how far away that star is, because it doesn't exist. It's all an amazing light show up there. That's all that is. The eclipse, oh my God, the eclipse busts flat Earth. The eclipse helps flat Earth. It shows you even more that the Creator can do whatever he or she, whoever it may be, wants.
See, that's an interesting point, too. Whenever an eclipse comes around, usually, at least, I follow sort of flat Earth circles, because I find it interesting, not only for stream, but just for my own personal entertainment. So whenever an eclipse happens, the flat Earthers will get into discussions, and people will go get in discussions with flat Earthers, and sometimes news places will interview them about it. And there's all sorts of theories on how eclipses work on a flat Earth model. They don't, because the Earth isn't flat. Surprise. But what is interesting about this is CC has completely excused himself from the conversation by further simplifying the conspiracy down to, sure, eclipses that we see in the sky demonstrably do not make any sense on a flat Earth. However, I believe in an all-powerful God that can do anything, so even though it doesn't make any logical sense, I still think my beliefs are true, because irrationality is built into the belief system. It's irrational, sure, but God can do anything, so something irrational can be made rational through magical thinking. So, really, this is shorthand for CC says, I don't understand how eclipses work, I don't want to learn how eclipses work, so it's just God. God did it. A living consciousness did it. It's interesting. Fontuck says, this world is hard to understand, with a link. And it's pixel art of Ben Shapiro in a Catgirl maid uniform. Great.
They can create anything up there. And you look at it as something that's real. It's not.
It is. It's everything else out there. It's everything else. It's the moon, it's the sun, it's the other planets in our solar systems, it's the other stars far away, other solar systems. It's not fake just because it's complicated. Juka Bazooka, thanks for following.
It's all created there for you, for everybody, and it's intelligently designed. That's the best part.
Here's another thing. It has to be... I think some people's egos can't take the idea that human beings aren't the center of the universe. Like, we just happen to be a life form that developed sentience and sapience, and now we have, you know, politics and jobs and self-worth issues and all that kind of dumb shit. You know, society. And some people can't handle that, so they feel the need to place us on some place of importance. Like, we have to be the top of the universal hierarchy of importance. Otherwise, I think it just drives them crazy. I don't get it. I'm kind of an absurdist, though, so maybe that helps. Lily Love Stuff says, is Ben Shapiro happy science Satan? Is Ben Shapiro happy science Satan? Oh, happy science. We didn't see him hunt dinosaurs, so.
That means there's a God. There's a creator. Yes, there is. And there could be many other stories of how this whole intelligent design was created from, but it doesn't make a difference. It's here, you're in it. And it quite possibly could be a digital world that we live in. And that's right, the plausible possibility of beyond flat Earth. You know, I want you to look at something real quick. You know, when the lights are turned off in your house, you know, and you're kind of looking at things, you know, in that dark shaded thing, you can't really make out anything. You know, you see the outline of the chair, you see the outline of the glass table. You know, you might see a little reflection from the moon, you know, coming through the window or something like that. But it hasn't rendered itself until you turn the light on. And that's exactly what the digital world...
You can't see... The visual information that you gather through your eyeballs is dependent on the amount of light that bounces off other things into your eyes. So if there's less light, then you can perceive less, because that light is information that your eyes are gathering for your brain to interpret. So if the lights are off, there's less information for you to gather, because you're literally using those particles and what they bounce off of to create an image. Things exist even when you're not looking at them.
World is like. When you're not looking at something, it hasn't rendered itself. It's just like when a tree falls in a forest, doesn't make any sound. No.
It does. When a tree falls in a forest, it makes a sound, because sound is a function of when something does something, it disturbs the atmosphere around it and creates wave functions. Creates waves. That's what sound is. It exists regardless of your perception of it. Bumble Homestead says, I'm not sure we should leave medically vulnerable people alone with this person. I would agree.
No, it doesn't if you're not there. No.
Have I heard of aphantasia? I have not. It actually kind of sounds familiar. If I have, it must have been in passing or something. I don't know. Aphantasia. I don't know.
I'm watching it. See, that's how a digital world works. Okay, and the reason why, because in video games,
life isn't a video game. Real life is real life.
Strengthens the memory of the game itself. Why waste something that you're not looking at? Why make it look beautiful?
The Earth does not exist for your convenience, CC, nor mine. It's just matter that exists in the universe.
And every little molecule you can see, when you can just make it kind of disappear, a silhouette of it. And then when you look at it, and the computer knows when you're going to look at it. Yes, we did an experiment on that. The double slit experiment. Remember that? Remember that experiment? Yeah, that's one interesting one too. I spoke about that about a year ago. But the funny thing is it knows what you're going to pick 8 seconds. 8 seconds. So it has plenty of time to render whatever you're going to look at. 8 seconds is a long time, guys. 8 seconds. What can you do in 8 seconds? I don't know. Can you carve an apple? No, I don't think so. It takes a little more than 8 seconds. But you sure can.
Out of all the random things to pick for, like, what's an example of something you can't quite do in 8 seconds, he chose carve an apple. What does that mean? What?
You can create something and render it from when it looks like a silhouette of something and make it appear beautiful, just like you would expect it to look. See, everything behind me right now you can see because I'm looking at it.
But you're not. You're not. You're looking at the road in front of you. Like, sometimes I'm sure, I would hope you're glancing in your rear view mirror, but it's not like the background blips out of existence.
Okay, and there are other people here that are looking at it.
Like, you can place a camera in the woods and no one is around and it still captures footage. And I'm sure CC would be like, well, it's an observer because it's a camera and someone's going to observe that footage later. So it renders just like it's your eyes. What? What? That doesn't make any sense.
But on an island somewhere in the middle of nowhere where there nobody is.
Because, like, if that were true, then surely the processing speed would have to have gone down when cameras were invented and popularized, because so many people are filming so many things nowadays, from CCTV to your vacation footage. You know what I mean? Everyone's filming everything. So why isn't it affecting the ability for things to render properly or quickly? Because if resources aren't an issue, why wouldn't you have everything rendered all the time? Again, this is not compatible, but on a surface layer it feels simple, so he likes it. Kirthan says, it's like that one recent chick tract where the person thought only things they saw existed. Yeah.
It hasn't rendered itself. It's amazing.
CC hasn't quite mastered object permanence yet. That's a skill that's a little above his pay grade.
The digital world.
They downloaded more RAM? Must have been.
Absolutely amazing. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everybody.
DDoS reality.
That have managed to find my channel, and God knows how you did. Because I think I'm the least channel out of all of them that is going to be on any suggestions at all whatsoever when it comes out of YouTube. But congratulations, you're here. Whether you're trolls or not, it makes no difference to me. You know, just more fun. More interesting comments down below. Anyway, I just want to touch base with everybody. I'm going to give some P1000 things coming up because it's beach time now. Unfortunately, we still have a family member moving, which has just been a total disaster. I don't know if you've moved in your lifetime, because it sucks, okay? It's a total disaster. It's the biggest pain in the ass you'll ever do. And that's probably why when people move into their first house, they just don't move out. You know, they just live there the rest of their lives. I mean, really, why not? It makes sense. If you're happy with it, why not stay with it? That's the way I look at things. I'm happy with Flat Earth. I find it simple. Flat Earth makes everything simple. It gives you character. It tells you who you are. You grow up when you know it's flat. And you...
Cult. Vontuk says, our world is a simulation of flat Earth, but the computer running it is on a round one.
You've been lied to. And there are many other things going on. You know, the mountains aren't the mountains you think they are. You know, it's amazing. When they pulled up some things from World War II, they're petrified. You see, don't you understand that none of this is billions of years old? Okay, none of it. All of it's there to make you think that you live on this stupid spinning wet ball going millions, trillions of miles per hour through this infinite universe when you're going nowhere. You're stationary. That's moving up there, yeah, it is. But you're not moving. You're not going anywhere. Okay? You're staying right here. It's remarkable. People can't see all the bullshit. They can't see that they won't let you in areas where you can actually figure out that the Earth is flat. You know, Antarctica, you can't go down there.
You absolutely can go to Antarctica. You can go book a cruise right now. Antarctic cruise. Let's book a cruise. Top 10 Antarctica cruises. Wow, top 10. There's a lot of them, apparently. Antarctica cruises. Falkland Islands. You can go look at the penguins. You can go look at penguins. I know there are some that let you go to, like, the North Pole, the symbolic South Pole, I think. You get it. You can absolutely go to Antarctica. This is a misunderstanding that a lot of flat earthers have because of the Antarctic Treaty. The Antarctic Treaty says that no government can create a military base there or try to claim any land like, oh, this section of Antarctica is America's or whoever's. That's what it says. It doesn't say you can't go there. You absolutely can go there as a private citizen. Many people have, whether through the cruises, people go for scientific research purposes. Often there are plenty of like bases there that house scientists for their different experiments and stuff. There are a couple people I know who have like done treks across the continent for like, I don't even know what the phrase would be, you know, explorer reasons, just to prove they could. Like a guy was on like a, oh gosh, what do they call that? When it's, you have the sled, a dog sled. He had a dog sled that he took across the entirety of Antarctica. So like there are, you know, people do stuff in Antarctica. People just normally don't because it's a barren desert wasteland that'll kill you immediately because it's cold. And cold is an understatement. Opossum Blood, thanks for subscribing with Prime.
You know, go ahead. I mean, how many times do we have to tell people who are not flat earthers that there's a treaty that's been signed? No review until sometime in like 2041. No questions asked.
What do you mean, no questions asked? It was a treaty that a ton of nations had input on and then signed. You can go read it.
That's it. There's never going to be a world war. There's never going to be a meteor. There's never going to be an alien invasion.
I hope there isn't. Do they think that we are expecting that?
It sucks, because I was looking forward to that.
You were looking to... Wait, were you looking forward to an alien invasion or World War III? Both are bad.
Watching Star Trek and all that stuff and just...
Star Trek was not about an alien invasion. I think you fundamentally misunderstood the concept of Star Trek.
Waiting for it. When is it? When's the mothership coming? When? Nah, never showed up. But yet hell has come. You know, they've turned the world upside down. Everything is all over the fucking place. I mean, let's start off with the sun. That's great. Okay. This is light. Light. I love light. I like light speed. That is 20 light years away. That one is 30 light years away. You know, but it's the same size as the sun. Really? Oh, okay. All right. So when we see the eclipse and
stars aren't all the same size as the sun. To my understanding, in fact, our sun is relatively small for the class of star that it is. So no, all stars are not the same size. Quite the opposite.
It sharpens the shadow into 70 miles. And we get these explanations of scientists that there must be some sort of ray that is created through a star, and that's why it's not as big as it should be, you know, like a toy soldier against a wall, you know. So let me ask you a question. When you're looking at a star, shouldn't that be the same thing? That it should just get so small where it disappears?
Stars are incredibly large, and in fact they do at a long enough distance. There are stars out there in the universe that we can't see. The stars that we can visibly see are just the ones that are close enough that their light does reach us. But there are absolutely stars we can't see with our naked eye. That's why we have telescopes and stuff that can see further. Hydrate. Okay. And there are stars that are beyond, you know, the reach of our telescopes even. You know, we're doing the best we can, CC.
And that thing is 93 million miles away, yet it's about the size of a $50 or a quarter.
Yeah, it's very big. The sun is huge. Angular size is a thing, CC.
And that's only 93 million miles away. What happens if you take that and triple it, double it, quadruple it, make it 10 light years away?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. The natural world is an amazing thing, CC. Open a book sometime and learn about it.
Wouldn't be able to see it. Just like you can't see those stars up there because they're not stars.
They're stars.
That's an amazing light show. God knows what it is. You know, we have no idea. We've done zoom on these things, and they look like liquid.
My favorite scientific technique for studying stars. The zoom button. Chaotic Kitten with 420 bits says, hee 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 hee. Take a nice rip for me, why don't you?
It looks like music, beautiful music.
What he's talking about is there are flat earthers who have, hold on. Zooming in on stars. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find this, but there are flat earthers. I'm probably going to find professional images, which is what I don't want to find. There are flat earthers who basically took their P900 cameras, or P1000 cameras, which are really popular amongst flat earthers. Nathan Thompson has one of these, and he shows the footage. But basically, he took his camera, not even a telescope, he took his camera, and he zoomed in on a star. And of course, it looks like shit, because it's a consumer camera. It's not meant for looking into deep space. And they're like, what is this thing? When you can look at, you know, actual astrophotography done by professionals or even amateurs, but who have the proper equipment that can see stuff way better. It's so frustrating. Because again, like, we've looked into this before. Prosumer telescopes. Like, a nice telescope can cost between this one's even 85. I don't know how good this is going to be. It's probably fine for looking at the moon and some of the other planets. But if you want to look at stars, you're probably looking at a range of like 300 to upwards of 1,200, 1,500 if you want something really nice to take some cool pictures with and with like nice tracking and all that stuff. You can buy these. I could buy these right now. I have enough money that I'm not going to, because I have no interest in astrophotography. But how is it that I, who am 27 years old, and do this bullshit for a living, could go and buy this right now, yet all the flat earthers collectively have not apparently thought to pool their money and buy a telescope? I think I know why, and I think it's because even they know to some extent that if they were to do that, it would prove them wrong very quickly, so they don't want to do that.
God, you know, it's just unbelievable. You know, everything is upside down, everything's all over the place. Finally, people are getting back on the road, which is amazing. You know, now we have more traffic.
Your grandpa worked for NASA before he died, and you've got a fantastic telescope in your living room? That's awesome.
The accident is up, I think, 8%.
Kirthan says many colleges have observatories that are free to the public. That's actually really cool.
You know,
I didn't know
it's
that.
because everybody's been on their fat ass on the couch watching reruns of freaking Sex in the City and this other nonsense.
Sex in the City is the most recent pop culture reference that CC can muster. When did Sex in the City, when did that go off the air? The most recent pop cultural reference he could think of ended in... Come on. Give me the years. 2004. So his most recent pop cultural reference is almost 20 years old. That tracks.
On TV when they should be researching.
Your university has an observatory and we should go? Fuck yeah. I want to go to the observatory. That sounds fun.
Flat Earth. You've had a year to research Flat Earth. To look at everything that's on the internet that's there. You know? Now YouTube has just suppressed everything, and that's probably part of the plan. Because they didn't really want anybody to look through it, because when you put up Flat Earth, usually what happens...
That's true. He did in one video talk about the 80s. He was talking about music from the 80s, and he was like, 20 years ago, the music was better in the 80s. And I was like, Chris, the 80s were 40 years ago. The 80s were not 20 years ago.
Happens is Flat Earth Society will come up, and Flat Earth Society has nothing to do with us, okay? That is a government agency. there to make flat Earth look stupid. That's what it's there for. Unbelievable. And why? I mean, flat Earth is a ridiculous thing, isn't it? Why would anybody even consider that the Earth is flat? Then why are there millions of people against us?
Because you're funny and you're wrong. I think millions is overstating the amount of people who even think about flat earthers, though. I think I'm probably in the 99th percentile of people who even give a shit to pay attention to flat earthers, much less people who actively try and rebut this garbage. I think there's maybe, and I'm talking on the whole of YouTube, you know, there's some big people out there like Simon Dan, but there's probably like a dozen or so, maybe, people who regularly talk about and try and debunk flat earth stuff, or even when I do, I wouldn't necessarily always consider debunking. A lot of it's just like, this is interesting, let's look at what this guy has to say. He's wrong, but he's interesting as a character. But yeah, there's probably like a dozen people who do that on YouTube. The concept of flat earth is not popular even to dunk on. I just do it because I have weird obsessions with specific topics, and this happens to be one of them. Hydrate. But no, millions of people aren't against you. They don't give a shit.
Why are there government agencies making it look like we live on a globe to keep that lie going? But yet in the
because we do live on a globe. They're not making it look like that. They're demonstrating it.
1915, 1920s, everybody knew the Earth was flat. That's what
No, they didn't. In the 1920s, people did not think the Earth was flat. What? You think people in the 1920s thought the Earth was flat? No! Even the pop cultural myth. So there's a pop cultural myth, which you may have heard in school, that Christopher Columbus discovered the Earth was round. Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, right? So that's the 1400s. Centuries prior to when he's talking about. And even that wasn't true. People knew the Earth wasn't flat long before Columbus. CC knows so little about so much that I forget how little he knows. When he says something so stupid as people in the 1920s thought the Earth was flat, I don't know how he puts shoes on by himself. Like, how do you operate in life knowing this little? I don't get it.
That's what they were teaching in school.
No, they were not teaching the Earth is flat in school in the 1920s.
It's amazing. It really is. All right, anyway, more to come. I thank you for subbing. I thank you for viewing my videos, and let me be a part of your life.
Oh my God, Chris. Oh no, he's got videos in his kitchen. 2 videos, and they're both exactly 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. Is he smoking the dank ganj?
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. 6/5/21. Welcome to the fourth wall. See, the ISS doesn't show you that, do they? Because they can't. They can't show you that fourth wall. Where that camera's coming from, right over there.
Okay, but... I'm confused just the point he's trying to make right now.
You know why? Because the ISS is complete fucking bullshit. Doesn't exist.
Wait, is he mad that the ISS does... Oh, are these the same video just from a different angle? Is that the point? Yeah, okay. It's the same video. That explains why they're the same length.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. 6/5/21. Welcome to the fourth wall.
Okay, so he's mad that the ISS doesn't have 2 cameras directly pointed at each other. There are a lot of cameras on the ISS. I would imagine some of them probably actually do point at each other at least a little bit. Not directly, but probably some of them get in frame of view of the other ones. Because most of the interesting stuff actually isn't directly, you know, pointing a camera at itself. That'd be kind of a waste of equipment, wouldn't it? Mike Mack says early depictions of the globe were around the 5th century. Yeah. I bring this up a lot, but there is an ISS live stream. It's not up all the time, but most of the time it is. Sometimes they do maintenance or whatever, and it goes off for that. Like right now, I don't know what they're doing. Blue screen, so they might be doing some sort of maintenance on the cameras or whatever. But like, you can go and see old live streams from the same source. A lot of the time they play the ones with the spacewalks because it's interesting. But you can see footage that was captured live on the ISS, around the ISS, whatever. The camera moves around. You get it.
See the. I just get that. I just cleaned it. Not that I'm advertising them. Care less.
Wow, the audio from that camera is really bad, though.
Double the size of it. But anyway, here, let's get back to reality. Alright, here we go. See? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to take a look.
His wife went out to shop, so he had 30 minutes to put this camera up and do this before she got home and yelled at him for being a dumbass.
Look at this. I want you to take a reflection of... Oh, by the way, the new tripod showed up. Yes.
Oh yeah, I love a video where I just get to stare at someone's back the whole time. Okay, let's watch the all-time greatest clip. The time his wife caught him doing flat earth bullshit in the kitchen and called him an idiot.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Well, same day, same time. This is not to scale, of course. When I grew up, the solar system was stationary.
Alright, honey, come on.
The sun was standing.
Why don't you stop this bullshit?
I love it. Can you give me like 5 minutes?
No, you've had it all morning, and I'm just freezing, and I'm hungry, and I'm trying to stop cleaning the house.
Why did he upload that? And why has he kept it up? It's beautiful. Catherine CD, thanks for subscribing for 2 months, says, I get to catch the show live for once. Well, I'm glad you did. Can I link the clip? I sure can.
Good.
Yeah, this is his most viewed clip by far, by the way. It's got over 200,000 views, which is pretty darn good. Most of his videos do not get that many. Let me just say that. Let me see what his most... What are his new videos? The videos we just watched. Under 1,000 views. Monster Kid Radio. Who is Monster Kid Radio? Let me see. If I deem them acceptable, then I'll raid them, sure. Cotton Candy 903 says, gotta head out. Have a good night. Thank you. I hope you have a good night, too. Oh, it's just like, public domain monster movies and stuff? That's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, sure. Alright, have a wonderful evening, everyone. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys for a Chud Watch stream Monday. So I hope you all have a good one. You're all valid as heck. Don't join any cults, please. See you guys later.